1025CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh says as much as he'd like to, he can't talk about an ongoing NCAA investigation. ESPN's Pete Thamel reports Harbaugh could face a 4-game suspension for not cooperating. Broncos coach Sean Payton tells USA Today Sports that Denver's coach last year, Nathaniel Hackett, did one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the league. Hackett is now the offensive coordinator for the Jets, where he works for head coach Robert Saleh.
I kind of live by saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So hate away. Obviously, we're doing something right if you got to talk about us when we don't play you till week 4. You know, the guys in our locker room, they've earned everything that's coming to them, and really excited about what's going on. I think Hackett's doing a phenomenal job here.
Robert Saleh, two-way sensation Shohei Ohtani will stay with the Angels for the rest of the season. The team's still hoping to make the playoffs. Ohtani will be a free agent after the season is over if the Angels don't re-sign him. Ohtani has thrown 7 scoreless innings, allowing just 1 hit in the first of a doubleheader. Angels lead at 6-0 in the 8th.
If you need solid hires fast, you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates from the same place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, PAY. That's PAY. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Green, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into a Friday edition of the Sportsocracy.
But wait! It's Thursday.
It is Thursday, but it's our Friday because Jeremy's got, philanthropic things
100%.
to do.
The Lord's work, charity, giving back to the people.
We'll not have a show with you tomorrow because Jeremy's going to be off playing golf for a good cause.
There it is. See, I'm not just going to slam beers with my friends. I got a day's worth of activities tomorrow.
So many activities.
I do. I got a whole day's worth of activities. I'm playing in the Warhorse.
You're the one playing
the Warhorse Cup, Warhorse something for Owen Athletics. And then tomorrow night, I'll be at Silverado's Music Park as your ring announcer for the Tough Man competition.
Nice.
I have to stay sober for that, which, thankfully I have an ulcer that makes that much easier to do. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. We haven't had a Tough Man contest here in a long time. I will be your official ring announcer. I would love to tell you what that means. I don't really know. I think it means I'll be Bruce Buffer.
Oh, of course.
In the red
corner. And you better bring all the fire.
Oh, 100%.
You better do it like you're dropping bangers on a college football Friday.
Oh, that's a great idea. It's time.
Exactly. Oh, you got to bring it. Like, nobody in the business does it like Bruce Buffer.
I might just come out dressed like Hacksaw Jim Duggan with a 2x4 on my shoulder.
You know it's going to be an exciting fight when Bruce Buffer's like 2 inches away from Israel Adesanya's face, just screaming at him. I love it. You need to do that.
I need some really good nicknames for fighters.
Hailing from Sandy Bush, North Carolina.
There it is. There it is. I've lived here for 30 years. I don't even know where that is.
That wasn't on your mail route? You had the Lester mail route. You didn't go out to Sandy Bush?
It might have been, but I never 100% knew where I was. So, yeah.
And that's what crimes sound like. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. You still have a few weeks as well to get in on the Beer City's Ultimate Fantasy Draft Contest, where we will host your fantasy league's draft, give you the red carpet treatment. We'll announce the picks. We'll stream it online. All those things. It's going to be a great time So get in on that contest. All the links are in the description of the YouTube video, and of course you can find it on our social medias at the Sportsocracy across all the platforms. Do we have what was the new one? They just launched a new social media. And did we get one of those? No. This is a brand
Threads?
new one. Yeah, Threads.
Yeah, we've got one. You want me to tell you what Threads is? Threads is Twitter if Twitter really, really sucked. Like, just out loud. It's all of it's the basic necessities of Twitter with nothing cool about it whatsoever. You want to post a GIF? Can't do it.
Oh.
You want to post a picture? Can't do that either.
It's texting. It's texting back and forth.
But you know what?
Everybody.
Elon made us mad, so now we have to go do something that's 10% as cool as what we started because we don't like who owns it. Welcome to 2023.
Just go try Brand X.
But yes, we do have a Threads. We have one post on it, and it's slightly political, and that'll be the end of the politics that we do on Threads.
Justin Parton in the YouTube comments says he's from Sandy Mush. He knows exactly where it is.
Adam Black was asking what our resident pastor of the show is asking what my catchphrase is going to be. He said I can't use it's time, can't use let's get ready to rumble.
Time to bleed. Let's go.
I'm not averse to that.
Are you not entertained? No, you can't steal that from Russell Crowe.
It's still an Aaron Neville line. I don't know much, but I know these dudes are about to beat the snot out of each other.
Exactly. It's clubbering time. Go full Dusty Rhodes on them. Just a clubbering.
It's just a nothing here, Daddy.
That's good. You should expound on that. I like that. I used to love Dusty Rhodes.
I watch
so much.
entirely too much Dusty Rhodes. And boys and girls, that's how you start a show with 5 minutes of tomfoolery.
Indeed. As I said on my Facebook post today, this is a big day today. Today is actually a day that I have been waiting on for over a year to announce. I'm officially, ladies and gentlemen, going to be back in the iHeart building every waking second of my life.
Yeah, they put a bed in. I saw them put your bed in earlier. It was cool.
I've just signed a 3-year contract. 6-figure deal with the iHeart Radio Asheville. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's combined.
With
that's
iHeart
not
Radio
in 1
Asheville.
year.
I will be the new producer of First News on 570 with Mark Starling starting on Monday morning, but that has no effect on the football and dumbassery that you get here every day 3 to 6 on ESPN Asheville.
It just means he will have been in this building for way longer than we're used to.
You already think I'm kooky Madookie? Just wait until I've been locked in this building 15 hours a day.
Yeah, because what time do you show up for that?
About 4:30. About 4:30 in the morning.
So basically, this is how a daily schedule now goes. Bar closes at 2. Jeremy falls asleep about 4. Tank wakes up and goes to work. So you got 24 hours a day of us up and just clicking on all cylinders.
Absolutely. So, glad that we can finally make that happen. And like I said, no effect on the program here. It just means I'm going to be in the building much more than I have been.
Yeah, and it means if you want to hear Tank's politics, because we don't do that here, now you get to hear mine in little one-liner jabs. But if you want to hear his politics, you can do that every morning. First News on 570.
Indeed.
And every once in a while, I pop in when the news gnome wants to talk about sport things. So every once in a while, you might get 3 of us.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for the day where it's like, hey, we're going on vacation. Hey, we could have Sports Freak Morning Show over on the or Sportsocracy Morning Show over on 570. Who knows? Who knows where this could go? You never know.
Somebody has to be here before 9 o'clock to stop me from that happening. So when that door opens, you let me know.
Who knows?
3 hours of Jeremy spouting politics in Western North Carolina. What could go wrong?
You never know where the wind can take us. It is the Sportsocracy. We're glad you're along on the ride with us for this Friday/Thursday edition of the program, and you just love it. Boss man Brian Hall will tell you all the time, if you ever work in this business and you host a show, some days, boys, you just have to take the layup. And boy, howdy did we get the layup of the week with Sean Payton. Did an interview with USA Today where he just put the 2022 Denver Broncos and their coaching staff on blast. And it wasn't just the coaching staff. He didn't stop there. I mean, they went, hey, would you mind sharing with us your thoughts about what happened here last year? And he went, okay, hold on, strap in, buddy, because I got a tale to spin you.
Hold my beer. Watch this.
He was, and part of me admires this, more than anything else. I can always admire somebody who's going to be honest with you and tell you exactly what they're thinking. But
except when what they're thinking is really stupid.
Well, it's how far you go with that makes me go, okay, now you're borderline. It's like Jeremy with his birds aren't real thing. I can follow you to a point, and then you just go, okay, you're dumb. I'm moving on. This is not true. He goes and tells the reporter that things are going to be different, obviously, this year. It's not the first time we've heard this from him. He derided all of the Russell Wilson coddling and things that happened last year, and now he is full-on putting on blast Nathaniel Hackett, saying that it is the worst coaching job in NFL history. And I don't think there's many lies to that.
I have no qualms with what he said there. Nathaniel Hackett was a horrifically bad head coach for the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
I will agree with that.
Yes.
But the problem is that he didn't go, and I'm going to put this period in this sentence, and then we're going to talk about other stuff.
No, because he said he will be, quote, pissed off if this is not a playoff team in 2023.
Well, you should probably get you a Alka-Seltzer because you're going to, because this team's not a playoff team. You're not. Sorry. You're not. But, okay, yeah, bravado. Let's go, Sean Payton. Let's just rally the troops. Let's ride. All right, I'm with you. I don't think you're out of your mind, but okay. It's still nothing that I have drawn a real qualm with.
Mm-hmm. This team has a lot of talent on it, but I don't think it has the talent to compete the way that Sean Payton wants it to.
And but I understand that. You're the new coach. You're trying to you're going Johnny Rah-Rah. You know how I feel about Johnny Rah-Rah. But then we took a hard right turn right into the old barricade.
And he went full on let's call out the new team on the block, essentially. Because one of the contenders this year wasn't a contender last year, and it's the New York Jets. And Sean was saying, look, the culture's going to change here. We're not going to parade people around like they did in the offseason last year. Right? He said, and then he calls out the Jets, and he says, you watch. I can already see it happening. The Jets did doing the same thing this year that the Denver Broncos did last year, parading people around, talking about their big acquisitions. They're going to be on Hard Knocks.
Which is not by their choosing. You get that, right?
He said, I can already see it coming. That this is basically going to be, he's calling them out. He's calling out Nathaniel Hackett and Rob Salah and the New York Jets going, that's going to be a disaster.
And for me, I believe, I've never been decreed a title as someone that can speak for the New York Jets. But after hearing all of these things that Sean Payton has said about the Jets and about his Denver Broncos, I would like to put out an official release from Jet Nation.
Here we go.
You actually think you're better than the Jets, don't you? You think that Russell Wilson last year with Nathaniel Hackett was comparable to Aaron Rodgers? Well, Shawnee, buddy, here's the beauty of the NFL is we get to play this out on the field. And we don't have to wait till the playoffs when you mythically get there to play this out, because we get to play you in week 5. And do you know what you just did, my old thinning hair, grossly overrated head coach friend? You just put a big old target right in between your eyes. And I don't think you're going to like how it goes. And there was no reason for you to do it. You wanted to ride Nathaniel Hackett? You're not going to get any opposition from me. That Bronco team was a joke. My question is, why did you feel the urge to turn it on the Jets? This is like the little kid that feels like, oh, and I had a growth spurt. Now, tank, basically. That he got to 5'9" when he was a senior in high school, and he went, puffed his chest out, went, I'm a big, bad dude now. And there's coming a day where I walk in side door right and go, yeah, I was 5'7" when I was in the 6th grade. So you're just now to the point where you even really belong in this conversation. I don't know why you felt the urge to do this. It's really stupid. You're at best the 3rd best team in your own division. I don't care how rose-colored glasses you go. Mm-hmm. You tell me anything better than that, I'll just straight up tell you, and I'm not going to pull a punch here, you're a moron. Like, if you look at this Bronco roster and go, they're better than the Chargers, they're better than the Chiefs, you better hope half those two rosters get lost in the Bermuda Triangle. You're way closer to the Raiders than you are to those other two. Mm-hmm. And now you walk in with all this bravado. And you have really just confirmed something that I've said about Sean Payton more than once. Look, I think he's a fine coach. I think he's fine. We're treating him like he's Don Shula. And I hate to break it to you, he ain't. He ain't really all that close. He's really close to somebody that has a bit of a lesser reputation. And after the break, I'm going to tell you who that is, and I'm going to show you just how, to me, abundantly obvious this is.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The original Tough Man contest hits the ring at Silverado's in Black Mountain July 28th and 29th. See the toughest fighters go toe-to-toe in live action. Tickets are $20 in advance and $30 the day of the show. The original Tough Man competition, July 28th and 29th at Silverado's in Black Mountain. Ringside and VIP tickets are available. Get yours now at silveradoswnc.com. silveradoswnc.com.
At Ingalls, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer. And the good ones, somehow, a little better. That's what family is all about. Whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Cut. Let's try something fresh, like the new scratch-offs.
I got it. Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hoke, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before. Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Want my secret for how to prep for summer getaways and get-togethers and get everything for less? Get to Kohl's. I just shopped their friends and family sale and saved an extra 20% on sunny day essentials, like tees and tanks for my family for $9.99, a cute pair of shorts for me, and everything we needed to set up our patio. So get to Kohl's and save on cool finds for hot days. You'll thank me later. select styles. 20% offer ends July 30th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Quite the song that I was talking about. I was talking
all
about.
All you said was play Rubber Band Man when we came back, and I went, yes!
Yeah, I was talking about the T.I. song, not that.
Not the Spinners?
No, that was not what I was referring to. I'll have to fix that when we reel this out for the Tic Tac and the Instaface and the My Book and all those things.
My bad then.
And the reason that I said that is because the first line in that song from the great poet T.I. is "Who I'm Is." Because I want to play a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a stat line, and you tell me who I'm referring to.
Okay.
I have a career 152 and 89 win-loss record, 1 Super Bowl trophy, been to the playoffs 9 times, obviously won the 3 games that I won the year I won Super Bowl.
Yep.
Never won more than 1 playoff game in any other year I've been in the NFL.
Okay.
Who am is?
It's got to be Sean Payton.
That is Sean Payton. Now, I'm going to give you another stat line, and you tell me who is. 155, 97, and 2 career coaching record. Won 1 Super Bowl. Has been to the playoffs 11 times, Did have 1 year where I won a second playoff game outside of the year I won the Super Bowl, won 4 that year. Who is? Active head coach in the NFL.
Ron Rivera.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Nope, he went
John
to
Fox.
No. I am referring to one Michael McCarthy.
It's like identical records.
100% it is. They have identical careers.
Interesting.
Oh, let's just break it down. Let's take it outside of a statistical realm. I am an offensive guru. I used the little bunny ears when I said that. I had a Hall of Fame quarterback at one time, and that's been the bulk of my career. And yet, somehow, with that Hall of Fame first ballot quarterback, I only won 1 Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that fits both of them. It fits both of them. I said this when Sean Payton got hired by the Broncos, and this little clown show of today does nothing but confirm it for me. Sean Payton is nothing but Mike McCarthy with a better PR team. That's it.
Okay.
Because he had a better coming through the ranks, coming up through the Dallas Cowboys with the Giants. Then he goes to the Saints, and the Saints had been a historical loser. He brings them to new heights that they had never been to before.
Right.
And now we think he's this superhuman guru. And he's writing checks that his Tukas cannot cash, at least not in the next 12 months.
Right.
Now, if you're telling me 3 years from now he builds this roster up, there's some regression other places, and all of a sudden Denver's great, I get it. But you're throwing all this shade at Nathaniel Hackett. Let me just, in theory, ask you a question. Do we think Nathaniel Hackett became the biggest moron on the planet when he took the Denver Broncos job?
No.
Do we think Nathaniel Hackett was the reason that Russell Wilson had his own office and walked around like he was?
Absolutely.
You think that's all Nathaniel Hackett?
No, that's not all Nathaniel Hackett.
He allowed it to happen.
He allowed it to happen.
As a first-time head coach in the league with a first-ballot Hall of Famer quarterback.
And Sean said that in the interview with USA Today of Nathaniel made it happen or allowed it to happen. The president, the VP, and the ownership stood by and let it happen. I mean, he held back on nobody. He went full truther. I mean, he was throwing shade at Russell Wilson. He was throwing shade at Nathaniel Hackett, the ownership, everybody for what happened last year with the Denver Broncos. He said everything that happened last year, we're doing the exact opposite this year.
And that's all well and good.
Right. You need to do that. You need to set the culture. Your expectation of this team, in my opinion, is way over the moon. Because I don't think you're ready to compete.
Outsized and makes no sense.
I don't think that you're ready to compete with the backlog of teams that you're going to have to get over to even make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, and the part of this that I don't understand, I get going Johnny Rah-Rah, but then you go, I'm going to use that same metaphor that I used earlier. Little junior tank has a growth spurt and is, the 5'9" individual that we know him to be today. Mm-hmm. I actually gave you the credit for how tall you actually are right there.
Appreciate it.
And you decide.
That, but okay.
No, you're not. And you decide, hey, let me look at the biggest kid on the block and punch him right in the nose. Because notice you didn't go after the Chiefs. You didn't go to the Chiefs. You didn't go to the Bengals. You went after the one team where there's a lot of moving parts and, they've got that idiot Nathaniel Hackett that I just chimed into. Yeah, I don't really care about any of that. I care about that defense, and I care about Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And you just took a team that was already galvanized by all these people saying, Jet's going to Jet.
Yep.
And you put a big old target right on your back. Let me make this as perfectly clear as I can. I know enough people in this organization, they play in week 5. They go to Denver. And if they can beat you 59-3, they will.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure they can't do it. I am 100% not sure that they can't go in there. And they beat you last year.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Nathaniel Hackett. It was also Zach Wilson. So you're forgetting the other side of that. That was also the game Breece Hall got hurt in. They still beat you.
I don't know that they're going to get run off the field really by anybody.
What's changed? Russell Wilson's still the same.
Coaching and leadership has changed. And so I'm gonna say that they're not going to get blown out by many teams. But when you do this, you're kind of asking for it.
100% you are. 100% you are. Chauncey Major in our YouTube comments asked, what exactly did he say about the Jets? I'll read you the quote. He was talking about PR and pomp and circumstance. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch. Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it coming. Remember when Dan Snyder put that dream team together? I was at the Giants. I was a young coach. I thought, how are we going to compete with them? Deion's there now. That team won 8 games or whatever. So listen, just put the work in. So basically what you just said, and what you meant does not matter. This is what you just put in print. Is that because the Jets are on Hard Knocks by force, they had no choice. That this is all pomp and circumstance, and it's all going to blow up in their face, and nobody's talking about the little old Broncos. You want to know why nobody's talking about the little old Broncos? Because your roster's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
And you just decided to pick a fight with somebody that is way bigger than you. And I'll be honest with you, it's not just the Jets that heard this and went, we got to shut him up. Like, you going to learn today. You going to learn today, little boy. You don't have Drew Brees anymore. Now, it's let's ride.
Yeah.
That every teammate he's had over the course of the last 2 years has absolutely despised.
He's trying all the motivational things that this kind of struck me as a Urban Meyer situation.
Yep.
Urban Meyer comes into the Jacksonville Jaguars. He says, I'm not taking any of this crap. You guys are mine, basically, and I'm the dictator, and I'm here to tater. It's and this is exactly what Sean Payton's doing in Denver, and he's doing all of the emotional things. They went through and talked about how he showed the image of baby iguanas being hatched on like the Galapagos Islands, and you might have seen this on your reels somewhere, where they hatch, and immediately there's snakes that are out to eat the little babies. And so the babies got to hatch and immediately run to the other cliff where the snakes are not. And he shows the video of the iguanas running away from the snakes, and he's like, this is us. Like, we got to come out and we got to be on it right from the start. And the reason he said that was because your most winnable games are at the beginning of the season, because you're going to hit a point in the schedule later in the year. I don't know how many wins you're actually going to be able to string together.
You said their most winnable games are in the beginning of the year. Yeah, that's a weird way to say the first 2 weeks.
first three out of the first 4 games.
I don't think they're going to Chicago and beating Justin.
You could.
Fields. You could. I don't think you're going to.
You may not, but you're definitely not going to go on to beat the Chiefs.
And I would wager your little Galapagos turtle story that you just brought out. I will guarantee you, I would be on the old side of NFL player age, but I feel like my mindset is younger, and I guarantee you, every player in that room audibly just went, "Oh, good Lord!"
You're probably right.
I don't have really a problem with Sean Payton. I never have. I feel like he's getting way more credit than he deserves. And this tells me, this one line tells me, you think you're more than you are. You went to Fox for a year, and you became the hottest girl at the bar, and everybody wanted to buy you a drink, and everybody wanted to talk to you. Well, that's all well and good, but at some point you have to open your mouth and you have to have an actual conversation. It doesn't just you just being the pretty girl at the bar, that's not enough. Mm-hmm. And now we're to that point of now you actually have to have a conversation and you got to back up all these things that you're saying. And I don't think you can do it. Flat out, I don't think you can do it, and I don't think it's fair to your team that you just put them out there with this thought process. Because we're talking about the schedule. So you start with the Raiders and the Commanders. All right, so with all this bravado, I do find it hilarious that he was talking about pomp and circumstance and bravado and then comes out with this, which is, "Hi, pot, I'm kettle. Would you like to have a conversation?" So you're going to start 2-0. What happens when teams start 2-0? Especially teams that came off the 5th worst record in the NFL last year. Hype starts. The hype jumps up. Mm-hmm. Then you go to the Dolphins, to the Bears, the Jets, at the Chiefs. That's 4 games in a row. I will guarantee you they get dog-walked twice in that. Absolutely dog-walked. So you start 2-0, and then all the hype comes up, and all these things come up because Sean Payton did this. Then you get absolutely smacked in the mouth 3 out of 4 weeks. Let's say they beat the Bears. Mm-hmm. I don't think they will, but let's say they do. So now you're 3-3, and the rest of your schedule consists of the Chiefs, the Bills, the Browns, the Chargers, the Lions, the Chargers again. That's a lot of teams that are just flat out better than you. Mm-hmm. And there was no need for any of this.
No.
You just became the biggest story in sports talk radio and sports media for a day because you went to a microphone and you shot your mouth off. And now you got to back it up. And when you don't be shocked when people like us are going, "Hey, you remember what you said? Did you hear Robert Sala's response to this today?" Basically, it was, "If you ain't got no haters, you're not doing it right."
Right.
You know what that tells me? I think we're just fine.
Yeah.
You bring that little pony in here, and don't be shocked if one of his little whims is broken by the end of this.
You're not taking fire if you're not over the target. That's one of the analogies that I've always heard that I really, really liked. If they're throwing shade at you in some form or fashion, that means they know that you're a threat. They know that you're – or it's just blind faith that you can go out there and lead these men because part of me thinks that Sean Payton actually believes what he's talking about. He actually believes that his players are better than the New York Jets. He believes that his coaching is better than what Nathaniel Hackett and Rob Saleh can give the New York Jets. And he believes that he can have this team ready to win games and possibly make the playoffs. The problem that I have is you're throwing shade at Nathaniel Hackett for the worst coaching job in NFL history. His words, not mine.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't disagree with.
He went 5-12 last year. I'm having a hard time figuring out the way you come out this season any better than 6-11. And as a Denver Bronco fan, I'm going to be standing back, scratching my head, going, "Wait a minute! You talked all that smack for one more win?
You were the genius. You were the savior of the franchise." Oh, and here's the other part of this: Nathaniel Hackett's not the head coach of the Jets. Robert Saleh is. So you're doing this to codify your fan base because Nathaniel Hackett screwed him over, and I feel very sure that's why this happened. But you know what tells me that I'm right? How many New Orleans Saints fans that we have that listen to this show, and I'm watching their comments tick off in the chat, going, "I don't want to admit it, but I get it." Also, I'm loving every second of this as I'm throwing shade at Sean Payton. Sean Payton's overrated, benefited from Drew Brees. Sean Payton wasted Drew Brees' I lost it. Wasted the prime of his career. That's all just been since I started talking. You say, oh, you're a homer, you're a Jets fan, you're just angry because he said it. No, I'm not angry in the least. Kind of be like 5'7" Tank telling me he's going to whoop my old arse. I ain't mad about it.
Right.
I'll laugh about it.
Right.
And if you decide to do something about it, then I'll show you how wrong you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm sitting. I just think it's funny that Sean Payton is making his life harder, and he doesn't get it. He's walking in here like he's Don Shula, and he's not. Mm-hmm. He's actually Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy's walking into a situation where Kellen Moore leaves, and we're afraid he's going to blow up the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have a better roster in a far inferior conference, and we're worried about them. You're walking into a buzzsaw with half the roster they have, and you're talking 10 times as much. That math don't math. Let's ride.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Hot numbers to close down the week with 90s into the weekend, hoping for a little bit more cloud cover, a little better rain chance late this weekend, early next week. That might take us down into the 80s. 68 in the valley tonight, isolated storm Friday, 91 degrees, increasing the rain chances late this weekend and Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Valero. Start saving on the road with Valero's 100 Days of Summer. Get fuel-saving snacks, swag, and more every day all summer long. Only with Valero Pay Plus. Download the app and start saving right now. Additional terms and conditions apply.
No, not now. That sounds like it's going to cost you.
I know what to do. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, get an instant decision, and if approved, I could have the money in my account as soon as the same business day.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now. The exact timing as to when your loan funds will be available will be determined by your banking institution.
At Ingalls, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer, and the good ones, somehow, a little better.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM. A rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingalls, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingalls and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
70s. What was
Steve
that?
Mediocre. You stop that right now. That's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
What was
material.
that was the slappers or something.
The
wasn't it?
Spinners.
The Spinners. Oh, one of these days we're going to record what happens in the studio in the 3.5 minutes.
It's gonna be hilarious.
And, it'll probably be our last day on radio if anybody ever finds it.
Oh, that's not a radio thing. That's
no.
definitely a
that's definitely a
after-hours
YouTube
podcast
Yes.
something.
Frankly, I think that'd be the funniest podcast that we've ever done. We recorded the hour and 48 minutes that we spend in commercial break a week, and here it is.
I like it. I gotta admit, I like it. I like T.I.
I do too.
You know, that's one of those things I feel weird about saying because I'm so white. I mean, like Patrick Holt just put in the comments of the YouTube, that's crunk music. I'm not allowed to use words like that.
He can't. He used bussing the other day, and I about slapped him. Like, listen,
And see,
Grandpa.
he didn't. He wasn't slapping in a good way. So I don't get how it works.
Papa. You just don't try to do modern things. You keep listening to the Spinner Sisters or whatever that thing was that you played earlier.
I will agree. It's not a bad song. First time I've ever heard it. I'll probably go back and listen to the full version.
That was the first song I ever learned. Oh no, it's not. I learned the entire first Eminem album line by line. And
As
then
did I.
that was the
As
next.
did I. Now lock that in your head. What that looks like in my car. Also, big fan of the West Side Connection. Just go throw that one out there. I can do that.
You were
I can do that
maddeningly
album
inconsistent.
front to back.
Yeah, it's weird. It's because it's time to get just a bit outside.
It is.
My story's about hip hop.
Oh, nice.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
I can't believe this is the second time I'm referencing Tupac Shakur in the last 2 weeks.
Okay,
And
why?
This is in the Just a Bit Outside segment, which means this is sports related. I told you last week that they had searched a house in Nevada in connection to Tupac's murder. Nothing has come of that yet, but it feels like we're getting closer to knowing the truth. But there's one person in the sports world that says they know the truth because they saw it happen.
Dennis Rodman.
Nope.
Floyd Mayweather.
That's exactly right. That's exactly who it is.
I remember him. I think he said that for years that he was there.
So he said it in 2014.
Okay, yeah.
It did not get wide commercial appeal, but somebody found the clip and asked him about it. Said, I was living right here in 96 when Tupac got killed. I've never told anybody. Only the people closest with me know. Well, now he's saying it again. That I was there, and I can tell you, depending on what the police uncover here, I can cut the facts from the myths. I don't really know that I believe this.
That's what a lie sounds like.
I really just don't know that I believe this.
But also, why do you need to lie about it? What would be the benefit of him lying about it other than getting his name in the news when nobody's talking about it?
Well,
maybe that's the point.
Floyd does enjoy doing that.
He does.
So.
He does. There's got to be a way to make money off this somehow, and if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Money Mayweather.
It's shocking to me now how many people are like, I know who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Really? We made it 27 years without figuring this out, and now you know who did it.
I thought we all knew who did it.
There's been a suspicion of who did it.
The theory.
And he died the following year, and then just kind of unwound. Well,
it was either him or one of his boys. We know that, right?
Well, the working theory is now that there were more people involved than what we think, and one of them is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
That is what the conspiracy theory websites that
he must pay.
And I am obviously a subscriber to all of those.
Yes, for taking Tupac away from us.
100%.
He must pay.
100%. Tupac is one of the 10 greatest rappers of all time, and it only was out for a handful of years. Love Tupac.
Yeah.
I still listen to Tupac.
Let's get into some off-season files here. Off-season files, continuing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Here, sad news, NFC East fans. Philadelphia, I believe, only got better. And that's a problem for everybody.
So you say they got better.
I think they did. I mean, I know they lost some things. But
all right, so for how did they get better?
For how did they get better?
I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just asking you to explain what you just said.
I mean, I don't feel like last year was just a fiction, that it was just by chance that we ended up, doing what we did and going to a Super Bowl. Another year, I'm going to give this team, I don't put as much stock into the assistants leaving as everybody else does. I know that that's a big deal, but it's not like they just went and grabbed some dudes off the street. Like Shane Steichen leaving. Okay, well, but we just made Brian Johnson the offensive
I feel
coordinator.
fine with Brian Johnson.
Right.
I think
You're
Brian
talking about
Johnson,
the defensive side?
No.
And I think the defensive side is too talented to take a giant step back.
I'm just talking about the turnover. All right, you lose both coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
Look how many guys off this team are no longer on this team. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Isaac Seumalo, Javon Hargrave, Miles Sanders, T.J. Edwards. That's a lot for one team to lose. Now, am I sitting here telling you that I think this team's going to regress? No, I'm not.
Because that's what it sounds like you're leading me to.
Well, no, because you said you think they're better. I do not in any way think they're better.
Really? You think they have taken a step back or just neutral?
You lost 6 starters, and you're expecting me to think that it's just next man up? Yeah, sorry, I struggle to believe that.
Yeah, I do believe it.
I think a few of them, it'll be fine. Seumalo, you trust me, you have plenty on that offensive line.
Replaced him with Cam Jurgens.
Yes, which, if you remember in the draft previous year, he's one of my favorite centers. I said he's going to be a quality starter in this league. I don't really have a fear with this team. I just don't think they're better.
Okay.
I think Dallas got better. The Dallas Cowboys got better. I don't even think that's debatable.
No, you added to big needs on both sides of the ball.
I personally believe Washington will be better with Sam Howell than they were with Taylor Heineke.
What was their record last year? It wasn't good.
Mediocre.
It wasn't good. See, I think they're going to be mediocre or bad again. Record-wise.
I could see them being mediocre.
You could see some
I think the Giants are a tough out.
Anyway, back to the Eagles.
But all of that being said, I still think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. And outside of the Cowboys, I don't think it's close.
I don't either. And
I think Dallas is the only team in their stratosphere.
Yeah.
Then to me, there's a drop off a mountain, and you get to Seattle and San Francisco, who I think are every bit as close as Dallas and Philadelphia are. And then there's another drop off a mountain, and I don't even know who 5 is. It's everybody says Detroit, and I'm like, you know what? I want you to be right so bad because I love Ben Johnson and I love Aaron Glenn. It's the Lions, okay?
Yeah.
And all of you are falling for this, and I hope you're right. I can't. I'm going to stay up here in the shallow end. You swim down there to the deep end, and you let me know how it is when you get there.
Right.
Maybe I'll wait over there as time goes on.
I don't think what they lost, though, was irreplaceable. They're too smart for that, right? This franchise, they had replacements for all of the guys that they left, and they feel fine about it. Are you taking that much of a step down at guard as the only spot to make me think that you're going to be worse than you were last year? No. You lost Javon Hargrave. That's a big loss, but I got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis that are both going to fill that role.
And
I lost the linebacker. Okay, I got Nakobe Dean waiting in the wings. And I feel like
I know these are all your Georgia
this
guys.
is all going to come together.
And I'm not telling you it's not. I think Philadelphia is more vulnerable this year than they were last year. Only because there is a team that they have to play twice that I think is much closer to them than they were last year.
Cowboys.
Yes. Now, I will still say, and I'm looking at the Eagles' schedule as we speak. What is their floor to you?
The Eagles' floor?
The floor. All right, let's say everything goes as bad as it could possibly go. Short of injuries. I'm not talking about injuries, just things don't click.
Maybe 11-6, 12-5.
I can't even get that low.
You can't even get that low?
I can't fathom a way they don't start 5-0. Can't in any way see a possibility they don't start 5-0. Then you go to the Jets, then you play the Dolphins. Those are 2 potential losses. Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks in the middle of the year. That
rough 6-game
is
stretch.
Evil. But what are you going to do, lose 3 of them? I think at worst you lose 3 of those games. So for me, I think 12-5 is the floor.
And that and to me that would be with, you're going to lose one of those wacky ones. You're going to lose one to a one-score game at the end on a field goal to the New York Giants or something.
And they lost last year to Washington. That was their first loss on Monday Night Football, and that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
They could do that again.
You catch one of those, and maybe you end up 12-5.
Kevin, the PRF, said no way Philly matches that 14-3 record from last year.
No.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Because that was the alternative, or that was the opposite side of that coin. I was like, what is the ceiling? 13-4.
Yeah.
I'm in the same spot. You lose 3 in that evil stretch in the middle of the season. You lose one more game outside of that. That's your ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Philadelphia is probably the easiest team in the NFL to figure out.
I'd agree.
And if they're not the one seed in the NFC, I'll be stunned.
Mm-hmm. Normally, you could take 6 starters off an NFL team, and I would feel worried.
I didn't say I was worried.
This is not the case.
I didn't say I was that I was worried. I said I think they're – look, we were the 2 most dogmatic people in all of media saying, this team might go 16-1,
right?
And I'm not even sure I like them that much. Now I love the roster. I just keep looking at that stretch in the middle going, I don't know that anybody can survive that.
No. Your schedule got tougher, and you're not expected to go win every game. But this is a team that's going to be at the top of their division. I think that it will be 1 or 2 games over the Dallas Cowboys winning their division, and they can – I don't know if saying roll is the right way, but they didn't pretty much stroll to the NFC Championship game. And let's see what happens. This is one of those years where I look at it and go, I don't normally call for teams to go to back-to-back Super Bowls, but you need to. I think you need to. They definitely have to be your 1 in the NFC. And at worst, you're 3 in the NFL overall.
It's Super Bowl or bust for Philadelphia because the NFC will be better in 1 calendar year. This is, to me, is your last shot to just run roughshod. I'm not saying you won't be the best team in the NFC next year. This is the last time it's going to be clearly better.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got bangers next.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Okay, team, line's already around the block, and we're open in 10. Yesterday, we had 3-hour wait times.
Chef Pierre's staff is a little under-seasoned.
Why is this pot not boiling yet?
An experienced sous chef is the missing ingredient in his kitchen.
What do you mean, plate or a bowl? You work at La Pasta in La Cup.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It pays to listen. Open your free iHeartRadio app and listen to this station to be entered to win $5,000. Each day you come back to listen on the iHeartRadio app is another entry. The more you listen, the more chances you have to win. Download the free iHeartRadio app for access to winning like never before.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Find special savings on top brands like DeWalt. Right now, save $60 when you buy a DeWalt impact driver or drill for just $99 each. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members will earn 3 times the bonus points when shopping the Pro Zone. Shop in-store and online today. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. DeWalt offer valid 7/17 through 8/2. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts if any. Valid through 7/28. Subject to change.
It's bow time. The Bojangles made from scratch biscuit is so good, we gave it a sidekick. That's just as never frozen, just as fluffy, just as delicious. We call them the Buttermilk Beauties. Get 2 sausage and egg biscuits for just $5. It's bow time.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Coffee's the closers only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
If you've never heard the term stay in your lane, this is a great time to learn what it means. I tried twice with the hapless Boston Red Sox against the best team in Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves. And that bit me in the tuchus twice. So I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm going back to what I know, which is football. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Over the next few days, I will go division by division and give you a futures bet that I am a big fan of. And since we're here in this southern market, it makes all the sense in the world to go with the hometown teams and the NFC South. The New Orleans Saints are plus 120 to win the division, Falcons plus 215, Panthers plus 400, and the Buccaneers at plus 800. I cannot, in good conscience, tell you to take Tampa Bay. I also can't, in good conscience, tell you to take Atlanta. Not because I don't think they can win the division, but because those odds don't make any sense. They're not likely enough to be at plus 215, which is right behind the Dallas Cowboys. You see how that doesn't make sense when you put it in that kind of vacuum? There are 2 ways to go. If you want to go the safe bet, you take New Orleans. Plus 120, little more than doubling your money with Derek Carr as the new quarterback of the Saints. Very talented roster, and that's probably the most likely outcome. Now, if you want to swing for the fences, take the Carolina Panthers, plus 400. This schedule starts horrifically. If they can survive and go into the middle part of the season with an outside chance at the division, I think they can win it. Bryce Young is going to acclimate quickly. I like the roster. I like the coaching staff. The first 6 weeks are absolutely crucial. If they can come out of that at 3-3-ish, those 3-3 might be rose-colored glasses. But if you can come out of it at 3-3 or 2-4, they have a great chance to win this division, and you're catching them at 4-1 odds right now. That's the NFC South. Tomorrow, the AFC South. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Hot numbers to close down the week with 90s into the weekend, hoping for a little bit more cloud cover, a little better rain chance late this weekend, early next week. That might take us down into the 80s. 68 in the valley tonight, isolated storm Friday, 91 degrees, increasing the rain chances late this weekend and Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Now save up to 60% on select notebooks, markers, and more. At Staples, school savings are always in session. Offer ends July 29th. Prices may vary in store and online. School on, save on at Staples.
Research shows people remember ads with wacky sound effects. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes and saves you hundreds on home insurance, here's something zany.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. To reiterate, these sounds are just to help you remember how much you'll save. Oh, come on.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, we're Comparing Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent, local agent, local agent.
Find us at comparinginsurance.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Just hours after the Angels announced they're not trading Shohei Ohtani, the right-hander throws a masterpiece against the Tigers in Detroit.
And the 3-1 pitch. And this is lifted high in the air. It's hit well into center field, but making the running catch about 7 or 8 feet from the rim of the track is the center fielder Mickey Moniak. And Shohei Ohtani has done it today in Detroit. His first major league shutout.
Terry Smith on Angels Radio AM 830. It's a one-hitter for Ohtani. 6-0 Angels in the first of a doubleheader. Taylor Ward hits 2 home runs and drives in 3. Ohtani will DH in Game 2. The first-place Brewers make a trade with the Pirates today to get first baseman Carlos Santana. Pittsburgh gets a minor leaguer in return. Dolphins corner Jalen Ramsey left the practice field today after a collision with wideout Tyreek Hill. Ramsey was taken to the locker room on a cart after athletic trainers worked on his left knee. No word yet on his status.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, green. That's green. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 here in the Ingalls studio. Watch us live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat, and you too can be the bearer of what, we like to call here in the old Ingalls studio, a little bit of
Who's gonna break the news?
breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Yes, just moments ago at Cincinnati Bengals training camp, Joe Burrow pulls up. Right leg injury, not sure what it is. To me, it looked like a cramp. Hopefully it's just a cramp. He was on a rollout, and he just got 3 steps and did that thing where he just hops on the left foot. The right leg is the one that's being looked at. There's no, cart involved that I've seen. Oh, yep, there's the cart. Okay, so they gingerly walked him to the cart, and he left. So if you see Joe Burrow carted off at training camp, just know it's not how that sounds. We use that term a lot in the sports media during training camp, the carted off thing. I've seen it already 3 times in this preseason, and only 1 time did it mean something actually drastic. Tyreek Hill, carted off. Yeah, but he kind of limped to it, and they just sent him to the locker room not to have him walk 1.5 miles.
Well, you also have to remember that Miami's training room is 5 miles away from the practice field.
Right.
So, we're at Radio Ranch. The way I equated this earlier, he would have to hop one-legged from here to Patton Avenue. You're not going to do that. We have a cart for a reason.
Absolutely. We got the cart so you don't have to walk off the
There's
field.
a big difference between the cart during a game and the cart during a training camp. It's a huge difference.
Absolutely. So don't get caught by the Joe Burrow gets carted off the field until we know more. But, yes, he did suffer some type of a right leg injury. He is obviously being looked at, and we'll have more when the team has more on that injury. Just don't freak out about it, okay? It is the Sportsocracy, and we're going to play a fun game today. We like playing the fun games, and this one is called Either, Neither, or Both.
Or as I say it, either, neither, or both.
whatever. Let's just call the whole thing off.
Tomato.
Let's just call the whole thing off.
Rubber band man.
Exactly. Little bit of a difference. So this is basically either, neither, or both. I'll ask you a question, and Jeremy, you give me your opinion, and you've got questions, and I'll give you my opinion. I want to start off with a fantasy football question.
Okay.
Top 5 fantasy running back. More likely to be a top 5 fantasy running back, either, neither, or both. Tony Pollard, Breece Hall.
I will go either, and it's Tony Pollard, and I don't know that it's all that close. Because
now, yesterday, I thought this might be a spicy both. But with the news that Dalvin Cook is in New York, more than likely tells me
he ain't leaving.
Right, like Dalvin Cook visits the Jets the day after Aaron Rodgers gives back $35 million. How do you think this meeting's going to end?
Oh, I tell you it's going to end. Same way I told you it's going to end, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. When I told you on this show, you can give me Miami all you want to. I get it. I know why you're linking him there. They have shown zero interest. I get why you're linking him to Buffalo. They have shown zero interest. A little birdie told me the New York Jets had a lot of interest, and that was where he was going to wind up.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers yesterday does what could humanitarian work, just genuinely one of the greatest pieces of charity in the history of team sports, gives back $35 million. What do you think he gave it back for? So Woody Johnson could sit on a pile of money like Scrooge McDuck? No, they're going to go get Dalvin Cook, and that may not be the end of it.
Absolutely. So that hurts Breece Hall's fantasy value. It's going to be great for the Jets. I mean,
I don't know how much it hurts his value.
Really?
No, I've told you, the Jets are going to be more run-heavy than you think. Everybody's losing their minds because they have Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Read the tea leaves. You've got 2 of the best blocking receivers in the NFL. You've already got an elite young running back coming off a knee injury. You're going to get a vet back who probably doesn't need to have the full workhorse load anymore. I would say both of them average somewhere between 15 and 18 carries per game. They're both very fantasy relevant, and the Jets run more than you think.
We shall see. I think it's going to be hard for them to run the damn ball as much as you say, but not that they can't do it, but because it's Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers has that in his wheelhouse, that he's going to be able to throw a lot. So I think you're going to throw a lot. Not that it's going to be, 60-40 passing to rushing, but
rank these 4 running backs.
Okay.
Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Talent.
Just
sheer
pure
talent.
I would go Dalvin 1.
I would agree.
I would go Aaron 2.
I would agree, but man, it's close.
I would go Breece 3.
I would too.
And then AJ 4.
A very distant 4.
I don't know about very distant.
I would go very distant 4.
Okay.
I also
just
think
because
he's
not the catcher. He's not the pass catcher.
No. I don't. I mean, to me, that's 3 of the 15 best running backs in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think A.J. Dillon is that. I just don't. I like the talent coming out, but he's still, what is he, 245 pounds or something like that? He's a big boy. Last year, Aaron Jones in PPR scoring finished 9th. A.J. Dillon finished 26th. I won't be shocked if you see Breece and Dalvin Cook in the top 18.
Okay.
I think that is very within the realm of possibility.
Now, on the Tony Pollard side of this,
he finished 8th last year with Ezekiel Elliott on the team.
Exactly.
Where do you think he's going to finish now?
And now with Mike McCarthy talking about he wants to run the ball more, he wants to run the more conservative offense, they're going to hand him the ball a lot. And I feel like he's got a great shot at being a top 5 fantasy running back this year because he can do all of the things. Because not only do I believe that he can run between the tackles at times, he's got the edge speed as well. He also has the hands to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield and make explosive plays happen. I've always believed that he has great talent, and now we get a chance to see him as the A number one with no real competition around him. Not saying other dudes aren't going to get carries in this offense, but it's going to be 80% on Tony Pollard's shoulders. And to me, the usage is going to be top 5 territory for him. So yesterday, this would have been a spicier question before we got confirmation that Dalvin Cook was in New York and more than likely, as we expect, getting ready to sign a contract. Brees was a lot closer. What if I switched him with Jonathan Taylor? Does that change anything for you?
No. I would still take Tony Pollard.
That team's still bad enough, but are you more inclined to say both?
No.
Really? Okay.
I don't view Jonathan Taylor that way with Anthony Richardson. Now, if you told me it was Gardner Minshew sleeping on a mattress that he got from beside a dumpster, then okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can talk about Jonathan Taylor. But even if it starts that way, I don't think it's going to last long.
Okay.
Anthony Richardson puts a huge dent in Jonathan Taylor to me.
All right, either, neither, or both.
Overpay in terms of contracts. In the last handful of days, we've had the richest contract in the history of the NBA, the richest contract in the history of the NFL in terms of AAV.
Yes.
Jaylen Brown, Justin Herbert, either, neither, or both overpaid.
It's either, and it's Jaylen Brown.
By a mess.
And it's not even relatively close. Jaylen Brown making $304 million over a 5-year period is kind of dumbfounding to me. I have long thought that NBA salaries have been out of control. NBA contracts make 0 sense to me. I get that there's not as many guys to spread the money around, and so, your value to your team gets increased because, well, you're splitting up the money on a football team between 53 guys. You're splitting up the money on a basketball team between, 20 guys. So I heard Dan Patrick and his crew talking about this the other day, and somebody said Saquon Barkley would be just way better off. I mean, were he not too short, would be way better off trying to be like the backup power forward for some basketball team in the NBA because you can make $10 million. You can make more than $10 million doing that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's Jaylen Brown, and it's not even close because we said yesterday there is thought that this Justin Herbert deal could be a value.
Oh, I think Herbert will be a value by the end of it. Fun stat. How many players in NBA history have made more in their careers, already paid, than Jaylen Brown just signed for?
Well, you immediately eliminate most or all of the 80s guys.
Oh, yeah. There's nobody
close.
Nobody drafted after I was born. Or nobody drafted before I was born.
Right.
So Jordan
I would say there's like 12.
It's a weird way to say 6.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
LeBron James has made $431 million in his career. Chris Paul's at $359. Durant's $350. Russell Westbrook's $336. Kevin Garnett is $334, and Kobe Bryant was $323. That's it.
Wow.
Jaylen Brown, now in one deal, has made more than every other player in NBA history.
And he's not the
And now some of those are going to swell over the
team.
next.
That's the thing.
And some of those are going to swell over the next 5 years. I get that. It's not an apples-to-apples comparison.
You look at the Chargers and what they just shelled out. That's for your quarterback. That's for the guy who leads the charge.
Yes.
Jaylen Brown doesn't lead the charge. He's not the guy for his team.
Not the best player on his own team.
Right. Jason Tatum is the guy.
Jason Tatum sitting back going, yeah, you got to sign me to one of those next year.
$500 million.
What do you think that's going to look like? It won't be pretty.
Yeah, it's Jaylen Brown overpay.
All right, so I don't want to jump in line here, but I have a two-parter question.
Okay.
My first one is we did power rankings in college football earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start with, was I too hard on a team? And then I'm going to follow it with, was I too high on a team?
Okay.
Either, neither, or both. Was I too hard on Ohio State, putting them at 6? Alabama, putting them at 10? Either, neither, or both?
Both. And it's pretty easy for me. Like, I get it. You've got questions about this team, both of these teams. You don't know what's what, but the fact that Ryan Day has led Ohio State to, a 45-6 record or something since he's been there is, to me, it's just selling them short, I guess, to put them at 6. I would have them in the top 3 in the country.
Are they better than Florida State?
Yeah.
I don't think they are. Are they better than LSU?
I think they are.
Now, record-wise, you might come out better than LSU.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think record-wise, you're definitely coming out better than LSU.
I don't know, because you got to remember they did away with divisions in the Big Ten for this year, so it's entirely possible they have to go in and play Michigan twice, and they catch 2 losses in back-to-back weeks. That's in the realm of possibility.
You're talking about at the end of the season
yes.
and then the championship. Okay.
Upon further reflection, I should have had Ohio State a spot or 2 higher.
Mm-hmm.
It still scares me that I have no idea what I'm getting out of your quarterback. But I do need to give you the credit that basically every person that's put that helmet on for the last 25 years and been the starter has been really, really good.
Yeah.
And Kyle McCord is a good prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, maybe a spot. Maybe I should have had him ahead of Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at your quarterback room going, I genuinely could pull 5 group of 5 schools that have better quarterback rooms than you do. And look.
You think?
There's no I think. I've seen it. I've seen Jalen Milroe play. He cannot throw, period. Unless you're going to run the veer, you are in trouble with that kid. And then Tyler Buckner, you lost to Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay. Like I don't see it in you, but the weapons are so much better. I get that. Competition's much better too. So I would go either. I would say, and I will give the fait accompli. I had Ohio State a spot or two too low.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I had Alabama a spot too low, but that's all I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Now, conversely, am I too high on LSU or Florida State? Neither, both.
And we'll answer that question coming up after the break right here on ESPN Asheville, playing either, neither, or both.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slow between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. Again, 26 eastbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. In Inca, Smoky Park Highway southbound approaching Sand Hill Road delays. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, save $60 when you buy a DeWalt impact driver or drill for just $99 each. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/2.
Foo Fighters,
Fall Out Boy,
Kelly Clarkson,
Kane Brown,
Lil Wayne,
Lenny Kravitz,
Miguel,
Public Enemy,
Sheryl Crow,
Travis Scott,
Tim McGraw,
TLC,
30 Seconds to Mars.
Get your tickets now.
Our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
AXS.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What should we do with the broke propeller? What should we do with the broke propeller? Don't look at me, I wasn't driving. Thank you, you're not helping. I don't even know why you bought this boat. You told me that you loved this boat. That was before you wrecked the boat. Well, now you've made it awkward.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
At Ingalls, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer. And the good ones, somehow, a little better. That's what family is all about. Whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
We're back on ESPN Asheville.
Again,
the Sportsocracy.
I'm telling you, one of these days, we're just going to record what happens in the studio during the break. We got to figure out how to get the mics to work and not go out on the terrestrial airwaves, because that's Elemento fired instantaneously.
You, sir, are a Grossman. Grossman.
I am a Goodman, and you know it.
I hate working in a small closet with a man on a high-protein diet.
You're right. I am a Goodman, and you know it.
ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Playing either, neither, or both. The question on the table. Did Jeremy yesterday, in having LSU at, where was it, 3?
LSU was 3, Florida State was 4.
Florida State was 4 in our power ranking of the teams going into the 2023, college football teams going into the 2023 season. Was he too high on LSU or Florida State, either, neither, or both? My answer is either, and I'm going to go with LSU. I just
that's the one I understand why you would say that.
I think Florida State is going to be in the I'm pretty confident Florida State's going to be in the conversation of college football playoff at the end of the season.
Florida State's on a tour of we want to hurt your feelings.
I agree with that.
And
everybody came back.
Exactly.
Right.
Everybody came back, and they know this is a 1-year window because Mike Norvell is crushing the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing the greatest job recruiting. You're still not seeing those top 5 classes that you expect out of Florida State. So to me, this is one of those that it's now or never. And you can do that with everybody on this team.
Mm-hmm. LSU, I'm not so sure about.
What is your
hesitation? Not saying that they're a bad team or anything. It's the fact that they play in the SEC. And they play in the SEC West.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
You've got to... Because Florida State, I feel like they're going to roll through their schedule.
Everybody but Clemson should be. Clemson and LSU are the only 2 losable games, I think, on the schedule.
LSU, Clemson, there could be some tougher games in there. Pittsburgh is they're like a darling, like a dark horse darling for the ACC, and that is a game on the road at Pitt, which could sneak up and bite you. But, even that is like, I hope they lose that game. Like, if you're going to pick it, you got to be like, I really hope they lose that game, because they shouldn't. But that's maybe one loss. LSU goes Florida State. If they lose that game, that's going to put them behind a little bit. They've got, they've got Alabama on the schedule. It's just, I see more opportunity for them to trip.
Okay. Well, outside of Alabama in the SEC, what are the chances for them to trip on that schedule? You see, that's what I did.
And I get it.
That's exactly what you just did. Exactly what I did.
They are a tough team, and it's not necessarily the juggernaut of old where we have 5 teams in the SEC West that we're completely scared of because Auburn has fallen off. Texas A&M's never what we expect them to be, but that's never an easy game. And I get that you get it at home at the end of the season, but still, that's going to be a tough game to face. I'm just not sold that LSU is in that category yet of they're going to be right there with Alabama and Georgia at the top of the conference.
I think they're better than Alabama, top to bottom. I actually thought you answered that how I thought you would, but you didn't answer it how I thought you would because of the reason.
My explanation didn't match.
I thought you were just going to look at me and go, Jaden Daniels, done. End of message, repeat the line.
No, I like Jaden Daniels. I like Jaden Daniels. So I think I have to choose either on that one. Were you too high on Florida State or LSU? I'm going to say you were a tad higher on LSU. I probably would have switched them and Ohio State in my power ranking.
So you'd have
I'd have had LSU at like 6. Yeah, and Ohio State up in the top 3.
Okay.
Now, either, neither, or both. Who's more likely, I guess, to get his coach fired this year? Dak Prescott or Sam Howell?
It's more likely it's not Dak. If Mike McCarthy gets fired, it will be Mike McCarthy's doing. I said this yesterday. I feel like I know going into every season exactly what I'm going to get out of Dak Prescott. So to me, maybe I think Jerry Jones is more rational than other people do, because over the last 10 years, he's been less trigger happy than he had been in the past. So I don't think it's Dak. I will say, because of how you asked that, I will say it's Sam Howell, because Ron Rivera's really gone kind of all in on this. Of, we got this kid in the 5th round, we got a steal. I said that from the jump. He was my number 1 quarterback in the class. I think he's going to be really good. But if you asked me which one was more likely, so I can't really say neither. So I'll say it's Sam Howell.
Okay. I'm right on the fringe of saying both.
See, I don't think Dak can get Mike McCarthy fired. If Dak Prescott falls off the rails and just goes 22 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, is that Mike McCarthy's fault?
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be both. I think it will be.
To me, the only way that happens is if now he looks at the weapons and goes, "Oh, I've got CeeDee Lamb and Gallup and Tony Pollard and Brandon Cooks," and starts trying to force things when he doesn't have to. Mike McCarthy's not going to do that.
No.
It just goes back to the question you asked me about Tony Pollard. I think they're going to run the ball way more than people think.
And I agree with you. I think they are going to. And I said yesterday that I think that the Kellen Moore shift to Los Angeles could be a good thing for Dak Prescott, because when he's expected to do it all, that's when he has more opportunity to make the bad throw at the end of the game when a crucial situation and throw it away. But if this team doesn't perform this year, it's not all on Dak. That's why I say I'm close. I'm close to saying both on this. But for me, I agree with you. It's Sam Howell, because if that goes sideways, you put all your eggies in that basket. And if
you did this to yourself.
Right. And you backed away from whatever market was out there for quarterbacks and went, nope, we're fine. Sam Howell's the starter, and this is where we're going. You're going to take the blame for that. So I think it is Sam Howell, and then Dak Prescott just – he may not live up to expectations, and Mike McCarthy still gets fired. But not necessarily his fault.
There you go.
His doing.
I could see Mike McCarthy being the sacrificial lamb, but it's going to be because of what Mike McCarthy does, not because of what Dak Prescott does.
Absolutely.
All right, I have a question that has nothing to do with sports.
Okay. I got one more. Do you want to end on yours?
Yeah, let's end on mine.
Okay, all right. I got one more that has something to do with football.
All right.
Because I wanted to ask you, either, neither, or both, whoever picks the NFL Top 100, were they on crack or meth when they put Trevor Lawrence at 96 and Justin Fields at 86?
Oh, that's a drug that I don't even know if we have a name for.
Either, neither, or both.
All. I might add another one. They took all the crimes and put them in a bowl and drank them.
They went
because that is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life.
They went, what did they call it? Gray death. Do you remember when that was going on a few years ago? It was like an elephant tranquilizer mixed with meth. and it was killing people left and right, they went full, gray matter.
The only way that I could see me saying anything that stupid is after 22 domestic lights going 1-1 with fireballs. So I'm 44 beverages deep. And at that point, I don't know exactly what's going to come out of my mouth, but I know it's going to be followed by, let's go!
Yes.
Yeah, so, I could see me saying something that stupid. But I need to seek medical attention.
Yeah. Justin Fields, 10 spots higher on the top 100 than Trevor Lawrence is crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
All right. Either, neither, or both. Jeremy.
This is a personal preference. And I'm going to use the place that I have now had lunch 2 of the last 3 days.
Okay.
When you go to any fast food establishment, but specifically Taco Bell,
okay,
do you have, and I always get this order, or do you order the new shiny thing that they're promoting?
Well,
neither, or both.
Well, there was a time in my life before PhD weight loss where both would be the answer here. Sitting in line.
That's my answer, so don't throw too much shade at it.
No, I'm just saying sitting in line because Taco Bell's a perfect example because I rarely get anything other than the chalupa meal. The 2 chalupas, and I never go with chicken. I like the beef better. And so I downgrade the chicken chalupa meal to beef and double the beef.
So I
very rarely go, give me the volcano taco just because it's here.
Oh, it's so good. The volcano taco is just ridiculous. Now, I do need somebody to explain it, and for me, this is a positive because I don't really like hard shell tacos. But anytime you get a specialty taco from Taco Bell, it immediately turns into nachos. Because the minute you touch the special shell, whether it's volcano, Doritos, Locos, whatever it is, it immediately crumbles into nacho chips.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. This is not a complaint. I am always the whatever is on the little drop down. So you got the normal menu, and then you get the cardboard cutout drop down of, hey, this is the new thing we did. I want that. And I want a Baja Blast and a Fiesta potatoes on the side. Both. New and old.
Fiesta potatoes. Is that
It's the cheesy,
fries?
the cheesy potato. They took those away from me, and I silently boycotted them forever. But now they're back. As is the Mexican pizza, as is the volcano burrito, which means the summer of Taco Bell.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Hot numbers to close down the week with 90s into the weekend, hoping for a little bit more cloud cover, a little better rain chance late this weekend, early next week. That might take us down into the 80s. 68 in the valley tonight, isolated storm Friday, 91 degrees. Increasing the rain chances late this weekend and Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing. 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound, very busy, approaching Fanning Bridge Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound, stop and go between the French Broad River to Airport Road. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, delays. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound. Drive time 17 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. With the Chalupa Supreme Beefy 5-layer burrito, crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and medium drink, Taco Bell's $5 Cravings Box is packed as ever. And $5 as ever. Get one at Taco Bell stores. For a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hoke, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before. Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingalls, we're all in for summer. We have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville, we are the Sportsocracy, and, this is a story of injustice in a way that, I wish there was something I could do about it, because I don't live in the country that this guy lives in, and maybe one day, Jeremy, you can take your dream of being president and become British Prime Minister, and maybe you can do something about this, because the story comes to us from the UK, where a man...
Mayor. Let's go.
Yeah, spent 17 years in prison on a rape charge. He did not commit the crime. Just yesterday, Andy Malkinson, 57 years old, he was let go, absolved of the crime by the Court of Appeals because DNA evidence came to light in his rape conviction that is not his. A theory came up that somebody else might have been responsible for this rape, and as it goes, they went down the rabbit hole, got the DNA evidence, and boom, this guy's been in prison wrongfully for the last 17 years in the UK.
Now, they had a jury that was ready to go home.
Now
I'm never going to let that go, just so we're all clear.
Now, they do have a I don't know what the term for it is, like a reimbursement program,
as do we,
right? Like we do here in America, where if you spend time in prison, they do the calculations and they'll give you money because you were wrongfully imprisoned for that amount of time. What's different about the UK is, though, they are going to give this guy whatever his settlement works out to be, but they're going to subtract basically his room and board. They want to take out of his settlement what it costs for them to jail
keep him
him
in jail
wrongfully for the last 17 years. Make that make sense. I've been in prison for 17 years for a crime I did not commit, and now you want me to pay you for the wonderful lodgings and food that you provided me? I don't understand that at all. There is obviously a major lawsuit coming from this. They've already stated he's got the lawyers lined up and they're going to try to fight this. But he was sentenced to life in prison. He had to serve a minimum of 7 years, and he could have got out after 7 years. But when he went to the parole board and maintained his innocence, they kept him in prison for another 10 years after that. until finally they proved that he didn't do it. But now they want to charge him room and board, which I think is just asinine.
It's not just our judicial system.
Hey, right, exactly.
That's why we left. 1776.
That's insane.
My story is a little less heavy than yours, and mine is for the second day in a row about Taylor Swift. We apparently have rumblings that there's going to be a new television series because Tay-Tay met with Succession writer Alice Birch to potentially develop a fictional series based on the life of Taylor Swift. I can't personally imagine anything that I would rather watch less than we go through Tay-Tay's relationship. So basically what you're telling me is we're going to make like a One Tree Hill centered around Taylor Swift.
What's One Tree Hill?
That was a show that came on in the before times.
Was that the CW? It sounds like a CW show.
I think that did air on the CW.
That's the one that they film out in like the Outer Banks, right? I think they do one of those shows.
I thought it was in Charleston. They did one in the Outer Banks. Dawson's Creek was in Wilmington.
Well, they did
I think One Tree Hill was in
the Outer Banks show that's on Netflix. That was filmed in Charleston.
Okay, maybe
but
that's
I think
maybe
the
that's
One
where
Tree
I got it
Hill
backwards.
is filmed out east somewhere.
Well, those are all things that we shouldn't know.
Hey, Outer Banks, that's not a bad series.
The people that I'm looking at right now are Joe Jonas, Taylor Lautner, John Mayer, Jake Gyllenhaal, Harry Styles, Calvin Harris. All those guys are going, could we not? Could we not? Is it not bad enough that she wrote a song about me?
I don't know. I feel like there's a fine line here that you're going to have to walk between, like this stuff didn't actually happen. These are just fictional depictions of, and you got to have that disclaimer at the end. Any similarities between this character and this real person are not intended or whatever.
Well, so you mean you can't throw a wig on Pete Davidson, give him a little longer hair and say, no, that's not John Mayer.
Oh, that's Kim Kardashian.
No, she dated Pete Davidson. Taylor Swift dated John Mayer.
Oh.
And what I'm saying is that you would get that same I haven't slept since the Obama administration look that John Mayer has if you threw a wig on Pete Davidson. And then that's not the same guy. Why do they both look like Beetlejuice's brother? I feel like you cast this to make me think a certain thing.
John Mayer is the songbird of a generation. You stop that.
The greatest thing John Mayer ever did was Chappelle's Show, and it's not really all.
Oh, 100%. That fight scene in the restaurant was great.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And this got me thinking, okay, so if they were going to do a show like this about any celebrity, whose show would you actually watch?
What, to like follow them around now, or to have a fictional
like you
story
did a
about
fictional
them?
story where you took stories from their lives and you took some journalistic edge and you changed it. Because for me, there's one answer to this, and it's not really all.
Oh,
nope, now I bet I can guess. Two.
I bet I can guess. Charlie Sheen.
That's one.
Gary Busey.
That's not who I was going to say. That's a good one.
Who else you got?
John Stamos was the one I was.
Really?
Okay.
John Stamos? He had a lot of famous girlfriends.
There you go. There we go. You're getting to the point. John Stamos is one of those guys you just look at and go, you've lived a cool life, haven't you? Like, you don't have to tell me. I don't need you. You don't have to nod. I already know the answer to this question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's always struck me as that if we knew too much about him, we wouldn't be cool with it. I don't know why, but something tells me there's like pentagrams in his background somewhere, and I don't know.
Did you see his episode of Hot Ones?
No.
You know what Hot Ones is?
Yeah, where they eat the chicken wings?
Yes. So he tries to play cool throughout the entire thing, and then he gets to the bomb, which is always the eighth wing? Because they do 10.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the eighth one, he gets to what killed Saget. And if he was alive, he would have loved that joke.
Absolutely.
And I went, I want to party with Uncle Jesse. because that was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in celebrity lives, and I know that you can make it interesting with a fictional story like this. I mean, like this is a show that my wife hates Taylor Swift. I guarantee she's going to watch every minute of this. Like she doesn't even like Taylor Swift's music, but because it's going to be a girl drama, she'll 100% watch this.
I'm reasonably convinced that nobody actually likes Taylor Swift's music.
That's not even
I think it's a recruitment tool for a cult, but I'm not sure that I'm allowed to say that. So I'm just going to say allegedly, hypothetically, not saying, just saying.
Yeah.
And I am too smart to get roped in by a cult, but I might be nosy enough.
All right, let's switch it over to the off-season files because we gotta cover the Pittsburgh Steelers. We haven't done that yet, and this is a team that I keep going back and forth about. Are they good? Are they great? And that's where I'm at now. I'm no longer at the let's doubt Mike Tomlin phase. I'm at the is this team good or is it potentially great? Because I don't see much of a path for this team not having a winning record this year. It's going to be tough in their division. I just went through and redid my prognostications last night to see if I had changed any. And I had every team in the AFC North with at least 11 wins.
You did that wrong.
No.
You did that wrong.
No. I don't think I did.
Every team in a division with 11 wins. Yep. That's never even come close to happening.
It can happen this year.
Yeah. All right, we're going to fight about this coming up.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. Spartanburg County, 26 westbound is very busy between SC14 and West Mills Street. 26 westbound, stop and go approaching Fanning Bridge Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Airport Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound in the Oak Park area, approaching Old Airport Road. Heavy delays both directions. I'm Lehman Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. With the Chalupa Supreme Beefy 5-Layer Burrito, Crunchy Taco, Cinnamon Twist, and Medium Drink, Taco Bell's $5 Cravings Box is packed as ever. And $5 as ever. Get one at Taco Bell stores. For a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Find special savings on top brands like DeWalt. Right now, save $60 when you buy a DeWalt Impact Driver or Drill for just $99 each. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members will earn 3 times the bonus points when shopping the Pro Zone. Shop in-store and online today. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. DeWalt offer valid 7/17 through 8/2. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 7/28. Subject to change.
Cut. Let's try something fresh, like the new scratch-offs.
I got it. Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
The original Tough Man contest hits the ring at Silverado's in Black Mountain July 28th and 29th. See the toughest fighters go toe-to-toe in live action. Tickets are $20 in advance and $30 the day of the show. The original Tough Man competition, July 28th and 29th at Silverado's in Black Mountain. Ringside and VIP tickets are available. Get yours now at SilveradosWNC.com. SilveradosWNC.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
The AFC North is going to be a dogfight this season. You got 4 teams there that have legitimate playoff hopes. The problem is the crowd is so the field is so crowded in the AFC that you could have all of these teams have 10 or more wins and 2 of them not get into the playoffs.
Yeah, and see, I see absolutely no path to that. Because basically, for that to go that way, the entire division would have to go 3-3 against each other, and that's just not going to happen.
I don't know about that.
I mean, history says that one of these teams is going to be significantly worse than the other 3.
It's typically how it works.
The best win percentage in NFL history for an entire division since we went to the 4-team format like this.
Yep.
We've never had a division where every team finished above 8-8. We had one where nobody had a losing season, but we never had one where they all had winning records.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you say for the break? They all won 11 games?
Yeah.
That's lunacy to me. I'm looking at Pittsburgh's schedule right now, and I thought I was high on them, and I am high on them. I love every player on this team for fantasy probably more than other people do, with the exception of Allen Robinson. I don't love him as much as other people seem to.
Okay.
And I'm still looking at their schedule going, all right, you start off with San Francisco, Cleveland, you got a couple wins. Baltimore, all right, I'll say that's 3-2 at best. Get an early bye, and then you have a slew of winnable games. So I would say 11 makes sense to me for them. It's just at the expense of what?
What do you mean? At the expense of what?
I can't wrap my head around 4 teams are going 11-6 in the same division.
And now it looks like they're so much better than everybody else they face. I mean, the division's going to be tough, and you're going to trade back those games with the division. But I mean, do you think there's a good chance that Pittsburgh opens up with a win over the San Francisco 49ers? Them trying to figure out their quarterback position, and Pittsburgh's at home, and all of those things. Like that's a game. That's a game you can win.
There's a possibility.
Then the next week you host the Browns. You can win that game too. I mean, you can. Then the Raiders and the Texans. That's a 4-0 start
potentially. Well, I mean, if they start 4-1, they're going to the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. These teams will beat each other up, but then they'll dominate everybody else they play for the most part. I mean, they've got games against the Chiefs, and there's some Bills on these AFC North schedules.
They do not play the Chiefs.
No, I'm saying amongst the whole division. There's still enough winnable games out there for every team to have a legitimate contention.
This to me, we've said this before. This is the most interesting division in the NFL because it's the one that doesn't have a bad team.
Yep.
But I'm going to say something, and I didn't get a chance to say this to you. I was in here with Jake when I said this. I'm not sure the more I go down the rabbit hole of the AFC that any team finishes with. I said 12. I probably should have said 13. I'm not sure any team wins more than 13 games in the AFC.
There's a very real path for that.
Because you just beat each other up. I mean, yeah, the Steelers get a nicer walkthrough because you catch the AFC South. So you play the Texans, the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans. They're better than 3 of those 4 teams. They also play the Rams. They play the NFC West. That still means you got to play Seattle and San Francisco. You're better than the Rams. You catch Arizona late. So Kyler Murray if he's going to come back, would be back by then, which makes them much more formidable than Trace McSorley or Colt McCoy or Clayton Tune.
You added 2 good offensive linemen, or what do you think are going to be 2 good offensive linemen?
They won the offseason to me.
Really?
The Pittsburgh Steelers had one of the best offseasons of anybody in the NFL.
Possibly. I mean, their draft went really, really well.
Well, you love Joey Porter, so.
Of course I do. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to come in and be Sauce Gardner, but who is?
You shouldn't say that, because that would be insane.
Right. Who can be Sauce Gardner other than Sauce Gardner?
No, I mean, I like what they added. You bring in a vet and Patrick Peterson that, to me, you haven't really had a number one corner in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not what he was 10 years ago, but he's still very good. And you got Porter and a slew of other guys that you can play on the other side. You still got Minka Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue you got the best pass rush in the league.
You have a healthy T.J. Watt. You have Alex Highsmith, who you just paid, and you still have Minka Fitzpatrick on this team. I don't think you've mentioned his name yet. Like, you finally got Larry Ogunjobi to help you stop the run on the front of the defensive line. To me, it's just they have all the talent in the world. Problem is, they're in the toughest division that there is.
And that's the reason I can't wrap my head around it.
Mm-hmm.
No, one of these teams is going to fall off a cliff. I don't know who it is.
I don't either. And
and it appears that Joe Burrow has eluded serious injury. So
if you had to put your money on it now, if you had to put your money on it right now, which one of these teams would be the team that underperforms?
Oh. All right, so when you say underperforms, what do you mean?
I mean, which one's going to be that
goes
team?
11-6,
you say every division has to have that team that goes 8-8 or 8-9. Right. Who's that team going to be?
So a team finishes sub 500 in the AFC North. Who am I putting my money on? That's what you're asking me.
Yes.
It's not Cincinnati.
No, definitely not.
It's not Pittsburgh.
No. You see how tough that becomes?
It's Cleveland.
Is it?
As high as I am on Cleveland, if you told me definitively I have played the Back to the Future thing and I've seen the future and there's a team that goes 8-9 in this division, I think that's my best guess. I'm struggling not to say Baltimore, but they're another team that they just never fall off a cliff like that. And so for me, it would be Stefanski is not the coach that I think he is. They underperform. Next year, they go get some whoever the hot shot on the market is.
Right.
And then they're Pittsburgh next year, where you had that blip where you weren't as competitive as you want to be. Because even knowing that, I would still say, okay, well, they're going to go 8-9 or 7-10 at worst.
Mm-hmm.
And a year from now, they're in the same shape as Pittsburgh, where I just go, I don't see a path that this team is not really, really, really good.
I agree with you. If I had to put my money on a team to be that 8-9 team, it would be the Cleveland Browns. And then you just call up Ben Johnson to be your head coach next year. Let's go win a Super Bowl. Let's go. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The Daily Draft is coming up after the SportsCenter update.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Hot numbers to close down the week with 90s into the weekend, hoping for a little bit more cloud cover, a little better rain chance late this weekend, early next week. That might take us down into the 80s. 68 in the valley tonight, isolated storm Friday, 91 degrees, increasing the rain chances late this weekend and Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. Spartanburg County, 26 westbound is very busy between SC14 and West Mills Street. 26 westbound, stop and go approaching Fanning Bridge Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Airport Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound in the Oak Park area, approaching Old Airport Road. Heavy delays both directions. I'm Lehman Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned with 24/7 PC protection against bugs, cracks, and hacks. Plans start as low as $199.99, plus now get up to $250 off select computers. In-store only. Offer ends July 29th. See an associate for details. Protect your tech at Staples. Start saving on the road with Valero's 100 Days of Summer. Get fuel-saving snacks, swag, and more every day all summer long. Only with Valero Pay Plus. Download the app and start saving right now. Additional terms and conditions apply.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Shohei Ohtani throws his first career complete game, and it's a one-hit shutout, beating the Tigers today 6-0. He struck out 8 through 111 pitches. Ohtani is the DH for the second game of that doubleheader in Detroit. He hit his major league leading 37th home run. The Angels lead 5-0 in the third. Bengals coach Zach Taylor says quarterback Joe Burrow left the practice field today with a right calf injury. Burrow was carted off after the non-contact injury. ESPN's Ben Baby reports it appears to be a calf strain. All 32 NFL camps are now open. The Buccaneers trying to replace Tom Brady at quarterback. Baker Mayfield is part of that competition.
I've been off social for almost 2 years now, so I'm wired different. I don't need anybody on the outside to tell me what I can and can't do. I know what I'm capable of. Yeah, I mean, I got hurt in Cleveland. That's why my run ended there. And then last year it was, it was what it was in Carolina. But everything happens for a reason, so I'm here now, and I'm ready to go.
Baker Mayfield.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless. But somehow, they make it work.
Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
This is the Sportsocracy last hour of the week here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
I mean, I apologize. I got to go do humanitarian work.
That's right.
And by humanitarian work, I mean playing a charity golf tournament and then ring announce a Tough Man contest at Silverado's Music Park. Tickets still available. Go to silveradoswnc.com.
There you go. That's what a plug sounds like.
Let's go. You almost think I've done this before.
Well, Jeremy will be doing that tomorrow. And on Monday,
I'm really glad they stacked up these tournaments. Because, and I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't played nearly as much golf this year as I would like to. So there is a possibility that they are bringing in the ringer to be the guy that just mashes drivers.
Yeah.
And there's going to be violence in Black Mountain because I don't know where many of these are going to go.
And while Jeremy's doing his philanthropic work, I will be taking tomorrow off to prepare for my new role here at iHeartRadio Asheville. Which is going to keep me in the building 15 hours a day.
Which means Tank has to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, indeed. If you're just joining us on the program, I will be the new producer of First News on 570 with Mark Starling each and every weekday morning. And still doing the afternoon show here on ESPN Asheville, so don't worry that those new duties down the hall will not conflict with the production and the performance of this year program. So anyway,
it's still going to be as genuinely awful as it's
100%. I mean, we got to keep it. We got to keep it honest. We got to keep it irreverent. That's why you listen each and every day. Daily draft time, top of the third hour of the program here in the Ingalls studio. Don't forget, you can check us out on YouTube. Watch us live in the Ingalls studio. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. And don't forget, you still have time to get in on the Beer City's Ultimate Fantasy Draft Contest, where Jeremy and I will give your league the red carpet treatment. We will host your draft. We will stream it online. Leagues of 12 or fewer. Go right now to the description on the YouTube channel and enter the contest, as well as sign up for the Battle for the Belt and all of our fantasy such and such that's going on this year.
If you sign up between now and our next show, the day of our next show, we will give you the Mullet Man of the Canada and Ultimate Fantasy Draft Kit for free. If you are already signed up, you will be also getting that for free.
There's a hell of an incentive to get in by Tuesday.
Well, Tools for Schools is Wednesday, so we would like to have a donation ready for them to get the young tots here of Buncombe County back into school.
Yes.
So if you sign up in the next 5 days, you get that for free.
Indeed. Thank you, Hubert. Hubert said hopefully Tank got a raise. Yes. Guaranteed income is a great thing.
He went from $0 to a few dollars.
Right,
and
right.
That's growth, folks.
Look, I've always said, you never want to lie to your audience, and so I'm going to be as truthful as I possibly can in this process. For the last year and some change, I have been working 2 jobs. I had been getting up every morning, slugging myself out to the Ingalls warehouse and working in the freezer section, pulling orders, and that was not it was a fun time. A lot of great people to work with. I love Ingalls. Obviously, they are a sponsor of ours, and I loved working for them. But honestly, my body could not take the 2 shifts at once, and so I'm glad that we were able to make this work where I can go back to doing what I love doing full time. So I'm going to be just in this building all the time, and frankly, I'm completely happy with it.
We actually had an office poll of which will happen first. Tank gets a contract or Tank dies, and I was rooting for you. I was betting against you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's been an interesting year, but as I said at the top of the program, I have been looking forward to the day where I can announce I'm going to be back in the building full time for over a year. So this is a great day for me.
Well,
personally.
I mean, and if you want to know how it directly affects this show, it means he'll be in the building at 9:30 in here building this show with me, as opposed to Jeremy left to his own devices, and that should excite all of you.
Indeed. So top of the 3rd hour of the program here on ESPN Asheville. Let's get to the daily draft. Tay-Tay is apparently, well, I mean, when you're a moneymaker, as she is, anything with your name attached to it is going to be highly viewed, highly critiqued, but more importantly, it's going to make you gobs and gobs of money. So Tay-Tay is apparently going to be doing this TV show. It's a fictional representation of her life. So basically, it's going to be 15 seasons of all of her breakups that she wrote songs about.
Correct. And now that's not done,
it's
trending in that direction.
It's rumored. It's rumored that that's going to happen, and that got us to thinking, what sports figures would you watch a show like that about? Obviously, like The Last Dance, the last year of the Chicago Bulls. That was the thing, one of the things, along with the Tiger King, that saved us in the coronavirus.
Not going to do it? Oh.
What?
I was going to sing I Saw a Tiger, but...
Oh, go ahead.
The moment. Go
ahead. Name's on the door.
I don't have the button anymore. Frankly, it's in this block of unlabeled buttons, and there's more chance that block gets me fired than anything I've ever said.
Right. So that got us to thinking, though, what athletes would we watch a show like this about? Not necessarily a biography show, but maybe, they could take some fictional licenses, make it a little bit more spicier. Who is your number 1 pick, Jeremy Green?
Oh, I have the number 1 pick?
You got the number 1 pick.
Mine was abundantly obvious.
Okay.
And I'll bet you could pick it.
Ooh.
You knowing me the way you do.
Sports figure. Joe Namath.
No, Joe's a pretty good one. But, after the Susie Colbert thing, Joe's life tamped down, and now he's great. And now he's people.
Yeah, but my TV show's not going to be about that. My TV show's going to be on HBO, and it's going to be him wearing his, nylon stockings and fur coats. I want that, Joe.
That's a. You know what? No, I'm not going to do it yet because I don't have to. It's Pat McAfee. It's Pat McAfee.
Come on.
You say, come on.
Really?
All right, so you're telling me that the life and times of a punter in the NFL, which is the most disrespected position. I would say punters are more disrespected than running backs because there's fewer of them that are good. You're telling me one of the best ones that ever lived, who also just so happens to live exactly my life because he was a comedian and then he was a talk show host. I
just don't know. I just don't know how
there's a lot of
interesting that
overlap
would be.
here. Oh, I think it'd be hilarious, especially if he was one of the writers.
I mean, it could be.
I think it'd be absolutely hilarious. And then you go through the actual build, and maybe I'm biased here because he built a show on a much bigger scale, the same way that we did. I think that's probably the most interesting story in sports.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. All right, I'll go one step further. And here's what got me to take this first. With the new ESPN deal with Pat, if there's not something in that is reality-based, just his life, they did it wrong. And I'll say that as clearly as I can. Because I would eat that up. And I think a lot of other people would too.
I was not expecting that at all.
I'm shocked that you weren't. I thought I had to take him first to keep you from doing it.
You know, because again, I don't know how interesting that is. I mean, okay, so he was a really good, maybe great punter in NFL history.
One of the 5 greatest ever lived statistically.
Well, I don't care about the Ray Guy story either. So
no,
the fact that he was a
Ray
punter,
Guy wasn't a stand-up comedian and then the best talk show host and sports talk host in the country.
I just don't feel like there's enough there. There's enough meat. There's enough scandal to keep something like that. Keep your attention for something like, because we're talking about a series here that could last a possible few seasons.
Oh, I think that could last a while.
I don't know. I just don't know that there's that because I wrote down name number 1 on my list, and I gave you the first pick so you could have it. But I want the Joe Namath story. I'm stealing that from you because I think there is no other character in NFL history who, I don't know. I mean, he hit the mainstream in a way that nobody ever did. You had your stars, of the NFL. You've had like Jim Brown, and you could talk about the impact that he had not only on the NFL but on culture as well. And I get all of that, but you never had that guy who just seemed like he was he was the Playboy cover model. He just lived that life to no end and would not be a Hall of Famer if he didn't win a Super Bowl trophy.
Oh, it's a fantastic answer.
Absolutely.
I'm shocked you took it.
Well, I
was going to put a pin in it.
I was giving it to you because Pat McAfee was not on my list at all as an interesting fictional story.
Oh, I think McAfee could be turned into like Ted Lasso level funny. Of his actual honest-to-God life. And there's not many guys like that.
Okay.
And look, one of the cool things of this job is that you get to know people that are infinitely more famous than you. Can I tell you a dirty little secret that I've learned over my time doing this? Some of them are way more boring than you think. Joe Namath does not fall into that. And I will give you credit on that.
Yep.
But I'm not going to lie to you. He wasn't even on my list.
Wow.
Now, I'll also say there's nobody on my list that's not currently active. I didn't really think about former athletes.
Well, see, I tried to think about current athletes, and I couldn't think of one.
Oh, I've got
that I really – well, there was one. One made my list, and we'll see if I get to him here. Because the Joe Namath story to me, you said it in the 1970s. It's not a documentary. This is a fictional work. I don't know who's going to play him, but I got somebody in mind to play Joe Namath, and it was the dude that played Uncle Rico on the.
You know what? You just lost because you.
Look,
just said
Uncle
that.
Rico had more arm talent than he did, so.
I don't have to see this idiot for 4 days, and I have to keep telling myself that after what he just said.
So Joe Namath is my 1. My number 2 pick is playing off a series that already exists. I need to see the spinoff of the Winning Time series that's just about Magic Johnson. I am completely all in on that. If you haven't watched Winning Time, you absolutely need to. And I think we're only about maybe a month away from the second season of that coming out, which I'm really excited about.
We have a listener that worked on that show, and I still haven't watched it.
Oh, it's so good. So good. but I would love to see the Magic Johnson story.
Yeah, I can tell that your list and mine have strafed.
Okay.
Because my next two are very much in the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
It's Rob Gronkowski and John Daly.
Okay.
There is nothing about those two lives that I am not just completely locked and loaded on.
John Daly, really?
Okay.
That's a 30-minute show that I can get the overview of and just be done with it.
I think you could do a reality show with John Daly right now.
No one would watch it.
I vehemently disagree with you. Just all right, think of it this way. How many views do any clips of him on a golf course get currently? Because it's a ton.
I have no clue.
It's outrageous. Those I can't remember the guys that LIV uses, but they do the back off challenge. They followed John Daly around for a round of golf. I saw probably 10 clips from that. Every one of them had 4 or 5 million views.
Mm-hmm.
I can't physically believe nobody would watch it. Gronkowski, that's just, I bet you do really cool stuff as a 35-year-old retired meathead like me.
Yep. The problem is Rob Gronkowski, if he gives the okay for that, he's got to play himself, and I don't think that would go over the way you want it to. Like, you think it would be cool, but I don't think he has the chops to be an actor. And when you're playing yourself and you come off scripted, which I think that's how that's gonna go, it would not work for me. Rob Gronkowski was on my list, no doubt. But I'm just not sure that would be the TV that you want it to be.
Oh, I think it would be outrageously funny.
And John Daly could be a great sitcom. And you get like Kevin James.
And I guess
to play
that's where
him.
I'm at.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of mine would be funny.
Okay.
I didn't really think serious documentary.
No, I looked at it more, I need scandal. I need something to keep me hanging on.
I got stuck on Ted Lasso, and I just kept scripting that show.
Uh-huh.
Out.
Have you ever seen it?
I haven't. But everybody and every person that talks to me tells me I should watch it.
Right. Okay, so you go Rob Gronkowski, John Daly. Glad that you got your picks in there quickly so we could take a quick break.
Oh, I was saying, just keep going.
No. We got to do that thing. We got to do that thing where we got to pay some bills. And when we come back, we'll finish the daily draft here. This is celebrity fictional biopic shows, much in the vein that apparently Taylor Swift is talking about making. What athletes do you really want to see, or would you watch a TV series about?
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 26 westbound crawling between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway, 26 eastbound slow between the French Broad River to just east of Long Shoals Road, 40 westbound delays between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road, 40 westbound near Newfound Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound approaching Old Airport Road, heavy delays due to an accident. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound near Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road, delays. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Looking for your next job? Express can help. Express Employment Professionals has put more than 10 million people to work in the last 40 years in all types of industries. With competitive pay and no fee to help you find a job, what are you waiting for? Visit ExpressPros.com today.
Foo Fighters,
Fall Out Boy,
Kelly Clarkson,
Kane Brown,
Lil Wayne,
Lenny Kravitz,
Miguel,
Public Enemy,
Sheryl Crow,
Travis Scott,
Tim McGraw,
TLC,
30 Seconds to Mars.
Get your tickets now.
For 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
AXS.com.
Okay, so we have the car payment, the rent, utilities,
and the repair bill.
What should we do?
I know. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, get an instant decision, and if approved, we could have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
When you need money fast,
be the hero. Go to cashnetusa.com to apply for the money you need now. The exact timing as to when your loan funds will be available will be determined by your banking institution.
Cut. Let's try something fresh like the new scratch-offs.
I got it. Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
The original Tough Man contest hits the ring at Silverado's in Black Mountain July 28th and 29th. See the toughest fighters go toe-to-toe in live action. Tickets are $20 in advance and $30 the day of the show. The original Tough Man competition, July 28th and 29th at Silverado's in Black Mountain. Ringside and VIP tickets are available. Get yours now at silveradoswnc.com. silveradoswnc.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
It is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 daily draft. Today is based on what athlete would you like to see a fictional series made out of their life? Apparently Taylor Swift is doing this with the writer of Succession. They're talking about doing a series based on her life, basically all of her breakups and her songwriting and all of that. Obviously, I don't think any of us want to watch that. I mean, we'll be forced to by our wives at some point, catch it out of the corner of our eye at least. But
I'm very lucky that I don't have that problem.
What athletes would you like to see a show like that made about? I've already got Joe Namath and Magic Johnson on my list. Pat McAfee was Jeremy's number one pick, which I'm still curious about, but we all know he loves him.
I do.
And then who's shocked, he went Rob Gronkowski and John Daly.
And now there's a name that I really don't want you to say, and I'm afraid you're going to.
You're afraid I'm going to. Well, is that name Dennis Rodman?
No.
Nope, that wasn't the one. I don't know why we haven't done this already. I think years ago there was like a made-for-TV movie about Dennis Rodman. It was like the Dennis Rodman story, and it wasn't a bad movie. But could you imagine? I mean, heck, you could sign up right now for 5 seasons of that. Hell, you could make his time with you could make each season, each hair color could be a different episode.
All right.
With all of the women that he was with publicly and privately.
That's interest way up here for Carmen Electra. Get to the Madonna years, sinks way down here. Everybody else off screen.
I mean, he went full kooky Madookie, and if you can't have fun with that, I don't know what career you could have fun with. Make it a fictional series.
I saw a couple people write that one. I mean, and I get it.
Yeah.
I understand the allure. I had 2 more, and that means I'm going to get at least one of them because I'm still very scared you're going to say one of the names.
Well, it's none other than the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
I knew I should have said that. I saw somebody say it in the comments. I went, he's going to see that, and there is no shot that's coming back to me.
Written on my list. Written on my list. Ric Flair, baby.
Ric Flair should probably have been the number one pick in this.
Yeah, but I went through and I went, how many things are there out there about these guys? And do we really need to see another one?
Well, Ric
Flair's definitely one of those.
There have been a ton of documentaries about him that really don't dive into like individual stories. And I think that would be wildly entertaining.
And I don't care which way you go with it. I mean, you could go full-on historic kind of drama-ish, scandal-y kind of thing, or you could just go full-on and make this a comedy. Let's make this a comedy, and every week we tune in for an hour to see the Ric Flair story. And you get somebody like Eric Bischoff to help write this thing.
Oh, yeah.
That could be glorious. I don't know what their relationship is like or if Eric would have a hand in that, but I just see dollar signs because everybody likes Ric Flair.
Not everybody, but there's some people that really don't like him.
Pretty much everybody.
But I think that would be wildly entertaining.
So Dennis Rodman, Ric Flair, those are my two picks for 3 and 4.
Well, you definitely left me one. Who just so happens to be somebody whose school we're going to talk about in the next segment. It's Deion Sanders. And you're talking about one that could last for a really long time. There are at least 5 different eras of his life that would be entertaining to see.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Coach Prime, the playing days, you could have the Florida State days. You could break the NFL days up into probably 3 parts. Then in the media days, and now as a coach. I almost took him before, but I know he's not as high on you. You're not as intrigued by him as a coach as I am.
No.
I am, but we're going to talk about that
coming
next segment.
Right.
I think he would be just fascinating to watch a show on.
Okay.
I mean, 'cause you got to just look how different his life has been over time. He was the flashiest athlete in all of sports for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was prime time. And now, and I guess I'm looking at a character arc here of developing over time, and you see you get older, and then you get the health things, and now you got blood clots and all this.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine how dynamic that character is if you write it
well
appropriately.
Right. I can get it. The evolution from prime time to Coach Prime.
But you took away the last answer.
Uh-oh.
And now I'm going to have to reach. And you're not going to like this one, but It would be. And I almost feel like you should let this guy write his own show. This comes from Jekyll in our YouTube comments. It's Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
It would be entertaining for probably all of the wrong reasons. But just the epic fall that this guy has undergone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd almost have to make it a comedy. With the Arena League stuff and freezing your feet off. I mean, that sounds like Seinfeld episodes, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what is the deal? Sorry.
Right. I mean, he was and I guess is still a walking football scandal.
Yes.
I mean, one of my favorite all-time shows. I was just trying to think of it. It was a show that was on HBO like in the early days, and it was about a team called the Houston Bulls, I think it was. And it had like Ogre from the Revenge of the Nerds in it. It was like an old school TV show, but it was the first this is a football scandal show. This is behind the scenes locker room. You're seeing, guys getting girls pregnant and having to deal with the steroids thing and all of that. It's
so it wasn't that Code Breakers, the one that ESPN
Playmakers?
Did?
Loved Playmakers.
Was it? I thought it was Code Breakers.
No, Playmakers.
Code Breakers was another show.
I was actually just watching that 2 weeks ago. I've got it on DVD. I love that show.
You get deep into the media thing, and you realize just how angry the NFL got about that.
Oh, they were,
and how many repercussions that's had over the years.
That series could have gone on forever, and I'd have been happy about it. the NFL, however, shut that down in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to have our games anymore.
Exactly. They threatened to pull out of ESPN altogether because of that, and because it was so real. It was so believable that all of these things could happen. Oh, it's so good. If I brought it to you, would you watch it? If I bring you the box set, I think it was like 2000.
The box set. That's a bad sign.
It was early 2000s.
How many seasons is it going for?
It was just one. It was like 8, 9 episodes, something like that.
I might.
Okay, all right.
I might.
Okay. We'll see. I'll bring it to you because, like I said, I was just watching it 2 weeks ago, and I found it, and I was like, I love this series. Anyway, okay, so Antonio Brown, I agree with you. That would be very entertaining, and yes, you'd have to make it a comedy because I don't know. I mean, unless you're going for the whole Jeffrey Dahmer angle of let's just make everybody extremely uncomfortable.
Because he's a crazy person.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so final pick for me. It's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. I mean, I get there hasn't been a whole lot of scandal with him, but I just feel like especially the last few years, especially if you give him like executive producer credits on this thing and he's going to have a hand in it. I mean, there could be some really interesting ayahuasca episodes where we do some weird stuff.
I was about to say, I think we've seen this. It's called How High. It's Cheech and Chong.
I think there'd be a lot more to it than that, but it's not as spicy as the others. But I'd give it a watch, especially if you were gonna give it that comedy angle of like. Could you imagine a couple of years from now, after Aaron Rodgers has retired, he comes out and does a series where he's, playing football on ayahuasca or something? That could just be fun visually to watch. Do you have a UDFA in mind? Because I do.
All right, go ahead with yours, and I'll.
Money Mayweather. He had scandal after scandal after scandal and put himself in the limelight so many times. I mean, you could do a whole season on the McGregor feud, building up to the Pacquiao fight. I just feel like that's a series that could give you a lot, but it's about boxing, and I'm not sure I'd watch it. That's why it's a UDFA.
Oh, I love boxing. I don't think he is all that entertaining. Although, he does claim that he saw Tupac getting shot.
Exactly. So. That's the first season.
If I had to pick another one, I've got a couple in mind, but you know what? Sloan Jordan had a really good argument for Barry Bonds.
Okay. And
I think that could be interesting. I've got a whole bunch that fall into the same vein of like Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's funny. I don't know how funny his life is. Barry Bonds went through enough stuff that could be wildly interesting.
But I think that's more of a drama.
Oh, no doubt.
Because he's not a funny person.
No.
And he's not a likable person.
No.
I had considered that as well, but how do you make that work? How do you make that sell to people? Okay, we're going to take one of the most hated figures in all of sports, and we're going to make a TV show about him. Well, he's not... Honestly, he doesn't have a personality, so you can't really get some charismatic actor to play that role.
No, but if you got the right actor, I think you could change the narrative on him quick.
Maybe
I really do.
And you do it all. Just I had no choice. I was a better player than these guys. I had to go down this road, and look what happened.
Went too far.
Maybe went too far. Exactly. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Hot numbers to close down the week with 90s into the weekend, hoping for a little bit more cloud cover, a little better rain chance late this weekend, early next week. That might take us down into the 80s. 68 in the valley tonight, isolated storm Friday, 91 degrees, increasing the rain chances late this weekend and Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound is slowing between I-40 and Airport Road. 40 westbound delays between the 26-240 split and George's Branch Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Old Airport Road and Cane Creek Road in the Fletcher area. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road north and southbound, heavy delays approaching Long Shoals Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Big savings on better sleep are happening. It's Black Friday now at Mattress Firm. Save up to $500 on select mattresses from Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Sealy. See a Mattress Firm sleep expert today to find your perfect bed with a low price guarantee.
The free iHeartRadio app covers the sports teams you love like no one else. Catch the latest breaking news, plus the upcoming NFL season's just around the corner. And iHeartRadio is your official podcast partner of the NFL. Make the iHeart app your go-to to stay up to date on all things in the sports world. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Saturday, August the 12th, it's the return of the Cold Mountain Music Festival at beautiful Lake Logan, featuring the music of Eddie 9-Volt, Tyler Ramsey, Grizzly Goat, Unspoken Tradition, and the soulful sounds of headliner Betty LaVette. The festival has lots of great food and drink vendors, family-friendly activities, and camping and overnight accommodations available as well. For more information and to get your tickets, log on to coldmountainmusic.org. coldmountainmusic.org. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingalls, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer. And the good ones, somehow, a little better. That's what family is all about. Whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
This is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for your most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
This one didn't even happen in Florida. I feel like at this point, we're just... there are just other places in the world trying to live up to what the standard that Florida has set.
I've got a good one that falls into that exact same category.
This comes to us from Queensland, Australia, where a man was driving drunk. Now, that's not too strange. People drive drunk all the time, even though you shouldn't.
Don't do that. It's crimes, and they make Uber for a reason. It's very readily accessible. It's on your mobile device. All you have to do is say, hey, I need a car, and some random person will pick you up.
51-year-old man pulled over at 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. He was pulled over heading to his daughter's house. The problem is he was driving drunk. He was very drunk, and he wasn't driving a car. He was driving a riding lawnmower. And when he got pulled over...
George Jones, let's go.
When he got pulled over by the cops said, hey, where are you going tonight? He said, I don't know, I just thought I'd drive this. And I don't know why I'm giving him a southern accent because he's from Australia, but I can't do that accent. So he said, I thought I'd just drive this over to my daughter's house and cut her lawn.
Bit of a whiffle, isn't it? Sorry, I don't know.
That wasn't good either.
No, it was a terrible English accent, and it was absolute nonsensical. It's an Australian accent.
The officer then reportedly replied to the man, "No, not at 1 o'clock in the morning. You're not, and not drunk either." He took the sobriety test, the breathalyzer test. Would you? I think this is probably one of the highest ones I've ever seen.
I know the highest one I've ever seen. It's actually physically impossible.
What was the highest you'd ever seen?
0.42.
Good night.
Yeah, it's actually physically impossible, but it's long story, and it's somebody that lives in the city, and they're still alive.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
No, I mean this was 4 times over the legal limit. 0.191.
Oh, 191.
Damn near 20% of your blood alcohol, or your blood is alcohol.
Wait, so what did you just say?
Was it 20%? Isn't that how that works?
No. 0.191. That means almost a fifth of 1% of your blood is alcohol.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I know you don't come back from much more than that. People have died.
Is supposed to be what you just said. I mean, this probably tells you more about my life than you know the little apparatus that you'll see in certain establishments. It's like, should you drive, and you give it a quarter, and I've literally watched people sit around and play whose number is the highest, because some of my friends are morons.
Oh my gosh. I'm not obviously I'm not a doctor, and I don't know how that works, but I just know that's way too much.
Yeah, I'm not going to give the name, but I have a friend that I went out with. I know what time I know what time he had his last beverage, and he woke up in the hospital the next day, and they were like, "That's where you're at right now."
Oh dear.
Maths, and you're alive, and that doesn't make good sense.
Of course, this had authorities going out and telling the community, no matter what you're driving, you should not be drinking. It is illegal to drink and operate any type of motor vehicle on the roadways, even if it's not an actual car and it's a lawnmower.
Including, but not limited to, a big wheel.
Yep, seen that one.
A horse, and a child's Jeep. Those are all 3 ones that I've seen since we've been doing this show.
The power wheel.
The power wheel. Pow, pow, power wheels. We didn't plan that.
Did not.
That's just a thing we did. Your story was about a drunk man. My story is about a naked man, and it's in Los Angeles, California. Apartment complex. Several people around the complex are very upset. Residents said he's running around naked, and added that families are concerned because there are children in the building. But this is the lawless republic of the state of California, and it's not actually illegal to be a naked man in public in the state of California. That's a thing I learned today. Mm-hmm. Because the cops have told the residents of this place that in spite of the fact that he has been caught on camera using surveillance cameras, he has been seen breaking into a vacant apartment, which apparently is also not a crime in the state of California that is actionable. Might be on the books, but they have said he's not done anything wrong. And he has been caught, how does one say this delicately? As a one-man band, if you catch my drift.
Yep.
Also somehow not illegal. They cannot stop the naked man in Los Angeles. What kind of lawless Sodom and Gomorrah have we turned to here when the naked man is doing nothing aghast? What does he have to do?
I mean, with all the crimes that happen in California, are you really surprised that this doesn't move the needle?
Well, where does it stop? Like, okay, so we're full naked men. That's not a problem. Naked men doing things that naked men shouldn't do in public, especially. That's not a problem. Can we not just let California go be its own? Like, you go do you. You are messing up us by being you. You can have Hollywood, you can have all of it. I've seen it all. Didn't leave anything there that I really want back. You can have it all. But we're going to go over here now.
Yep. We got more shifting going on in college football. One team, another team, is bailing water on the Pac-12. And
that boat is starting to sink.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure the Big 12 is going to get what they really want out of this. We'll talk about it coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound is slowing between I-40 and Airport Road. 40 westbound delays between the 26-240 split and George's Branch Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Old Airport Road and Cane Creek Road in the Fletcher area. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road north and southbound, heavy delays approaching Long Shoals Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Valero. Start saving on the road with Valero's 100 Days of Summer. Get fuel-saving snacks, swag, and more every day all summer long. Only with Valero Pay Plus. Download the app and start saving right now. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Get your tickets now
at AXS.com
for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Experience more of the music you love with the record-setting 5G network. T-Mobile customers can unlock VIP benefits at the festival all weekend long. It's better over here. See why at T-Mobile.com/SEEWHY.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all of your favorite radio stations.
The Rod Ryan Show.
It's the Woody Show.
It's Elliot in the morning.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events.
iHeartRadio Music Festival, yeah!
All of the best free curated playlists.
The best bands.
All of the great podcasts for every interest.
The stuff they don't want you to know.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome. All of your favorite superstars.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Download the absolutely free iHeartRadio app now.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
The original Tough Man contest hits the ring at Silverado's in Black Mountain July 28th and 29th. See the toughest fighters go toe-to-toe in live action. Tickets are $20 in advance and $30 the day of the show. The original Tough Man competition, July 28th and 29th at Silverado's in Black Mountain. Ringside and VIP tickets are available. Get yours now at SilveradosWNC.com. SilveradosWNC.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You're just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Back on ESPN Asheville inside the Ingles studio. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And Colorado is the latest to jump ship from the Pac-12. Colorado's going back to the Big 12. It's been approved by the Board of Regents, so it's going to happen.
Wait, does that mean we get to bring back the old Dan Hawkins clip? It's the Big 12!
They are going to be leaving at the end of the current Pac-12 media deal that ends next season. So the 2023-2024 season will be their final in the Pac-12, and then they'll move to the Big 12.
And therein lies the problem. Therein lies why this will be the last year of the Pac-12. Because you're already down to the Pac-9.
Yep.
Because all you have left is Arizona State, Arizona, California, Oregon, Oregon State, Stanford, Utah, Washington, Washington State. That is not enough to move the needle on a television deal. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's not enough to move the needle on a deal that those 9 schools will agree to. And so now it's just a question of who's the next one. Do Arizona and Arizona State try to hop into the Big 12? Because definitively the Big 10 won't touch them. Does Washington and Oregon and maybe Stanford try to get into the Big 10?
Yes, I would think so.
Well, I think you might be missing the point of that one. If that had been offered, they'd already be gone. I don't think it's been offered. So I know they have vetted them. I know they have had at least a preliminary interest, but it hasn't been enough to formally go, hey, when you get out of this, you got to spot the land. So today everybody will talk about the death of the Pac-12 because I'm telling you, it is imminent.
Yeah.
They talked about replacing them with San Diego State. That ain't enough. It's not even close to enough.
No.
You don't have a marquee program left because Oregon and Washington will take the first offer they get. I would say Utah probably falls into the Big 12. They don't strike me as a Big 10 school. And then you get into like the Washington States and Oregon State and Cal. Where do you go? I don't know that the Big 12 would have an interest in those schools. Cal is awful at everything that makes money. Washington State, for the large part, has been awful at everything that makes money for the better part of the last 25 years. So this to me is now this is an interesting part of this. We were talking about Deion Sanders earlier. That's 100% why this happened.
Yep.
Because Deion coming to Colorado made them just attractive enough that the Big 12 would go, you know what, there's natural rivalries geographically with Colorado. That is now even more so the most expansive conference I've ever seen. Their travel bill has got to be just astounding. But, I mean, this is it. The Pac-12, this was the last chess move to lock the Pac-12 out.
Yes. Because now it becomes supremely evident that there is no path forward here.
No.
You're not going to get a number that excites you if you're one of the schools still in the Pac-12.
Well, I mean,
you're talking about Washington and Oregon.
Well, I mean, but to me, there's even a bigger problem than that. Is that you've got three sets of three schools that they're all paddling in opposite directions. You got three schools that nobody wants. It's the three I just said. Then you got Arizona State, Arizona, and Utah. Somebody will want them. I just don't really know who.
It's the Big 12.
I mean, but are you going to go to 20?
You bring Utah in, and they have the built-in rivalry with BYU that just jumped into the conference.
I guess, but I mean, you're talking about a ton of schools in that conference. A ton of schools in that conference.
But we've been talking about this. We're inching our way to the four super conferences, and I think that's where this ends up
are we
landing.
Though? I mean, because to me, the SEC's done. There's nothing left to move that's going to move the needle with the SEC. The ACC got out of this without losing anything,
which was a miracle.
100%.
But now you have to try to build on that, and I don't know how you do it. I don't know who you could bring in
the ACC.
In the ACC. I mean, do you go down that path of trying to bring in UConn?
No,
as a basketball school?
No, good Lord,
and
no.
A football school?
UConn's a death nail. I mean, that nobody will be interested in.
There is a name that I've been thinking about, and it's Appalachian State.
That one
could we get to the point where Appalachian wins? They're really good in the Sun Belt, and they're starting to become more of a name.
Yeah, I just feel like
could they come in as one of those sacrificial lambs for the first couple of years, and then I don't know.
I feel like the financials of it are so different.
Maybe not, but if Luke Combs keeps doing concerts at Kid Brewer, all he's got to do is 3 or 4 of them, and there you go. That's 2 years worth of ACC salary right there, or whatever you know what I mean. You can spend on the level of the big guys with some well placed alumni.
I don't know. I'm the ACC. If they were going to pilfer from anywhere, it would probably be the Sun Belt.
I would agree.
Because I can't really find anywhere else that makes any sense.
No.
Be it geographically Notre Dame is the one that makes the most sense.
Absolutely. You stop playing that game with them.
And then you just add Notre Dame and say, we're good. The ACC would say they're good. SEC
I
says
feel like
they're
the
good.
Big Ten's going to try to do that too.
I don't know that they want to go to the Big Ten. I feel
Notre
like
Dame?
I feel like if that was where they were going to land, they would have done it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's really no more appeal now to it than there was 20 years ago.
Right.
Well, but the media deal, yeah, but look how many different slices of the pie you have now that you never had before.
Mm-hmm.
The ACC needs you. The Big Ten could care less. They're going to look at you and go, you're another member. You're getting no special treatment from us. And then the Big 12 is – I'm just looking at the conference lineup now, going, you add Colorado to that, and that is the most ridiculous-looking conference I've ever seen. On ESPN.com, just the standings page takes almost my entire screen.
Yeah.
And again, so does the ACC and the AAC.
Yeah, you're bringing in BYU and Central Florida, Cincinnati, and Houston. You're losing, obviously, Texas and Oklahoma. Now Colorado is coming next year. You still got some room for growth in there. You still got some room for a Utah or a BYU or Arizona State or Arizona.
In the Big 12?
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm not going to say you don't. They have, 15 schools now? With Colorado will be the 15th school in that conference.
Well, you got to take Texas and Oklahoma out.
Oh yeah, well that's true. Okay, all right. I had forgotten that. I had already mentally done it in my head, but they were still on the screen.
Right. You've got 14 right now, but you're losing 2.
Okay, that makes the most sense then. You get Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah going to the Big 12.
That makes that a 16-team conference.
Yeah, which is fine. Mm-hmm. And then you get the big 3, Oregon, Stanford, and Washington.
My question becomes, is this – I guess the Big 12 is doing as much as they can possibly do.
The Big 12 got a media deal because they now have so much intellectual property that – and they struck while the iron was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to understand, there's a lot of people that want content that will sell. And they'll accept a whole lot of UCF and Baylor to get a Kansas or to get an Oklahoma State, or are those high-end schools? No, but they're good enough. They're good enough to pay their way.
Yeah, and see, that's where I'm at. I get that Dion being there, Coach Prime taking over Colorado, that makes them a spicy thing to get right now. And I get it.
Him for 1 year is enough to carry their water in the Big 12.
Forever?
Yes. The amount of I'm telling you, you do not understand how big of an absolute bonanza this is for Colorado. There's a reason they did it within 6 months of him signing on in Colorado.
That's what. Yeah, but the Big 12, I don't know that they want to have Colorado be relevant for a while. And I just don't know that you're going to get that. I don't know that Dion took the Colorado job to be there for 10 years and change the face of that program. Oh, no, he
certainly did not.
No. And so once he leaves, say he leaves and he goes to Florida State or something, if y'all win a national championship, you can kiss that goodbye. That'll be Mike Norvell's job for a while. No, but
I could see him taking a bigger job.
Yeah, but he takes a bigger job, and then Colorado just falls back to earth.
Yeah, but look at how discrepant the talent is right now. I mean, Coach Prime can do a lot in Colorado in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and that's enough for them to be in the Big 12 because they were a power years ago. So there's enough sleeping giants there that if you do this the right way, you're fine.
Yep.
I'm just looking at these the schools that are on the outside looking in. Take luck.
You're a powerhouse. 33 years ago? Wasn't it 1990 when they won a national championship?
Yeah, with Michael Westbrook. And
it's been a long time since that team's been really relevant.
I don't disagree.
And they can. I'm not saying Dion can't make them that. I'm just saying the Big 12 is bringing them in. You're going to get it for a couple of years, but I don't know how long they're going to be relevant.
Well, this is just a proof positive that when the kitchen's closing, that cheeseburger that's been sitting under the heat lamp for the last 2 hours is steak tartare because I'm hungry and there's nothing else here to eat.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Off day tomorrow, off day Monday. We'll be back with you on Tuesday because, well, we have to give Flostradamus his time to do his philanthropic work at his charity golf tournaments.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Hot numbers to close down the week with 90s into the weekend, hoping for a little bit more cloud cover, a little better rain chance late this weekend, early next week. That might take us down into the 80s. 68 in the valley tonight, isolated storm Friday, 91 degrees, increasing the rain chances late this weekend and Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Blue Ridge Health. At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com.
At Ingalls, we're all in for summer. We have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
That's horrible. No, you know that's horror awful. That's horrible and awful mixed together. Horror awful.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.